Welcome back to another media day. I'll just open it up.
Jeff, your just overall opinions on the state of the Magic heading into this time of year.
Obviously, I always say, this time of year, every team is excited about their prospects. Whether you're going through a rebuild or kind of really competing for a championship, whatever your kind of line of attack is, you're excited today. For us, I've never been more excited since I've been here personally. I feel that we have a team that's capable of accomplishing big things. Everyone has come in with the right mindset. Everyone's together, and the vibe in the building has been really exceptional the last couple of weeks.
There's been a lot of conversation about a quote-unquote weaker East this year. How do you view the East, and where do you guys think you fit in with that?
Yeah, it's a great question because obviously, a lot of notable players have suffered injuries. But it's a league of injuries, and we've been unfortunately, we've contributed to those, over the years. So I think that, that's constantly shifting. I don't look at, when I think about like the landscape of a conference or a division, I don't look at like a year to year. I look at the long range prospects of where each team is heading, what they're trying to build. And I think the East is really strong. I think that there are a lot of teams that are, about to pop, and hopefully we're one of them. So I look past this wave of injuries, and I just hope that we don't contribute to that. That's all. And obviously, that's going to shift every year. Then one team is injured this year and healthy the next, and that honestly is a big determinant of who's on that lottery podium at the end of the season each year. So I think the East is very well positioned to be deep and strong for years to come, and hopefully we're part of that.
Jalen and Mo coming off of those knee surgeries. What do you expect from them going into training camp? Do you think they can play October 22nd? And if not, then how much longer down the path could they be?
Yep. Obviously, two different injuries, different players, and different timetables. So, Jalen, we kind of have said all along that, it's a long way off to start to set goals, but, we've targeted opening day for him, and, there's still a long way to go before we get there, but he's worked really hard. He's made a lot of progress. He's in an incredible mind space, and I think that, he'll be a participant in whatever parts of training camp Arnie deems, and through that we'll remain targeting opening day, and hopefully that we'll remain hopeful that becomes available to him, and if not, somewhere right around there. Mo's timeline is obviously different. He's further away. I think you guys know that there have been unfortunately a series of ACLs in the last decade of the NBA, and like the associated timeline with that. But you guys also know Mo Wagner, and so he's not your normal guy, and so he's attacking it, and we're hopeful that he can beat that timeline, and what that looks like exactly, I think it's too soon to say. I don't know what you mean by a partial return to activity, but I think what our hope is to ramp him up in training camp, and we'll see kind of as he stacks the days if he's feeling, and if Arnie's feeling, and our medical staff is feeling that he's ready to kind of get on the court for preseason games. Obviously, if he's going to play in the opening game, you would hope that he would get in a preseason game. But I think like that's. I think even having that discussion kind of gives you the window a little bit into how we're looking at his timeline.
You mentioned the anticipation that you feel around this building for this season. How do you manage like kind of holding this team to the standard of what you think this team can accomplish while still giving it's still a very young team room to kind of grow and learn how to play at this higher level that you're anticipating? Yeah,
that's a great question, Philip, because I think like even veteran teams, internal growth is always a big part of the math. But there's a big difference of a 28-year-old who's coming back 29 and a 22-year-old who's coming back when he's 23. And that's why, we have such high hopes for this group, not just this year, but going forward, because we are so young. And part of the youth is exactly what you're alluding to. How do you handle the expectations? How do you handle all these pats on the back? I mean, I handle them like this, but it's a young group, and I think that they have to process all that stuff together. I think our coaches have done an amazing job messaging that we haven't earned anything, we haven't done anything yet. I think our players know that. They know that everything that they get has to be earned, and I think that the addition of our two veterans this year will only help kind of spread that message. And not just the message. The message is one thing, but really, how do you work every day? How do you work every practice? Do you hold one another accountable? So when you really break it down, that's what it comes down to. And hopefully we're in a good place to tackle that, because it's a great question.
Jeff, a couple coaching acquisitions this summer. Joe
Yep.
Prunty, God Shamgod. What kind of expertise, experience do those guys bring to the staff?
Both very different guys. I think you guys will hopefully get the chance to ask Coach Mose about those guys, and he'll be able to shed his insight into why they were the guys to add to our staff. But Coach Prunty is a very kind of even-keeled, experienced, smart, offensive-minded coach, and I think that his value's already been felt. Shamgod is a guy who, if you guys know him, he's just very unique person, and has an authenticity and a way about him that I haven't really met with many guys in my years in the NBA. And I think already the players kind of gravitate to him, and I think the work that he's able to kind of get to on the court with them in a short amount of time is already kind of showing up.
Dribble Roundtable Sports. Last season, Tyus Jones had one of the best assist-to-turnover ratios in the league. What can be said about bringing in a floor general of his caliber, and what can he do to keep defenses honest and help you guys out?
I think that each of the last 5 years you could have opened up with that sentence. I think he's led the league the last 5 out of the last 6 years in assist-to-turnover. I think that one of the things that we set out to do was kind of turn the corner this summer. We didn't want to get old, we didn't want to sacrifice like a long run, but adding IQ, adding poise, adding consistency, those were all kind of goals that we kind of like sprinkled into all of our draft and free agent considerations. And to bring in a guy like Tyus, who in addition to all of those elements that you stated on the court, is actually an amazing guy off the court as well. The reason that he plays like that on the court is because that's who he is off the court. And so, I think that, obviously that's on Coach Mose and all the guys in the locker room to, figure out how that all kind of shows up and helps us. But I do think that that'll be a valuable element to our team this year.
Jeff, you guys have a standard roster spot open. I know there's some financial limitations around when you can fill that, but what's the plan for that spot, and how do you approach that opening?
Yeah, we've talked a lot over the years about the financial compression that's coming at our team, and obviously you guys know we kind of put our foot on the gas a little bit this year. So we're up against the first apron. We are in a situation where we are going to carry 14 players. We're not able to add a player at this point. Around the middle of the season, when that gets aggregated into kind of the second half of the prorated salary, then we can start to look at minimum players at that level. Really, there's not much of a choice on our part. So we're going to go in with 14. And at some point in the season, we'll be able to look at adding if that's what we feel we need, and if that guy is available. That's our approach this season. I mean, unfortunately, this is a situation a lot of teams find themselves in now, and I don't want to name names, but there's been a notable injury recently where the team is in pretty much the exact same situation that we're in, and they can't even replace that player with a minimum, because they're in the same situation that we are, and a few teams are now. So, that's part of the new landscape that we're all going to have to navigate.
We saw Franz, Tristan, and Goga play in Eurobasket. What did you see from them, and how valuable was that experience for all three of them, particularly Franz and Tristan going on and winning the gold medal?
Yeah, growth. I mean, I saw growth. I think we all saw it. it's so exciting to see young guys just continue to evolve when they're about all the right things. Obviously, Franz is able to explore, leadership elements and, carrying a team and what it means to be on that stage with that kind of pressure. It's all kind of just continuous breakthroughs for him, mentally, emotionally, understanding, the length of the season, the duration of those tournaments, those games come at you pretty quickly, And so I think it's great growth for all of them. I think to see Tristan, even within that tournament, grow as a player and get more comfortable and figure out like where his spots are going to be, it's I think reflective of his IQ and his understanding and ability to kind of slot in and help. And I think, Goga had a great summer. I thought he was really impressive. He's gotten bigger. He's like starting to when Goga came out in the draft, he was a shooter, and the league does funny things to you, so finding yourself and growing into that and, figuring out like how you can apply that. And I think that those are all elements that, you can work on in tournaments like that. And I think, hey, Georgia did stuff that they haven't done before. So I know he's really excited about their team and his summer, and, he looks good.
This is the third season for Anthony Black and Jett Howard. Where are they in their development plans, and what are your expectations for each of them this season?
Well, where they are in their development plans, they've both looked good in the last couple weeks, and they're both, I think, obviously very young, and I think their future is way in front of them. But, two different guys, two different skill sets. And so I think that each one of them is kind of like really had a great summer. And AB's looked really good in our open gyms and really, I think, starting to come into his own. But we have to remember, he's 21, and Jett, has also come back, grown up, matured. And those guys, I think these are obviously big years for them. They're in addition to on the court, off the court, as you guys know, the timings. But I think like as far as what to expect from them this year, listen, one of the things that we set out to do this year was kind of turn the corner. And so we've talked a lot about the difficulty of kind of like running two races, trying to develop players as your kind of North Star and win games. And honestly, it hasn't always been easy. It's been a little bumpy sometimes, but that's just kind of like what you embrace when you go through that. I think this year, hopefully, we're kind of like turning the corner on that, and the guys that can help us win will play. So, I think this is a much different, perspective as we enter the season, and I think it's honestly simplified for a lot of our guys. If you're ready to help us win, you're going to get on the court.
Jeff, can you explain kind of how Wendell Carter's role in winning, how that's going to change this year with everything that's changing?
I mean, that's probably a great question for Coach Mose. As far as how the team wants to play, how the additions of Dez and Tyus and even our two rookies will impact the way that like the whole team is going to play differently, and what that means for each guy, and to your point, like what that means to Wendell. Wendell is just the ultimate kind of. I can tell you like that the league values Wendell highly, because Wendell does things that just don't show up. He eats up people's mistakes. He can deal with the physicality of moving guys in the post. He doesn't have to block a shot. He can kind of prevent the play from getting to where it has to get for them to get that shot. He can also switch out on wings and guards. And so, Wendell's just the ultimate kind of like whatever the team needs to win, he's there to do, And so, as to his specific role and how the coaches want to use Wendell this year, I think, we're gonna look to play fast. I think Wendell can play any style. He can guard anybody, and you can ask them more specifically how he'll slot into the offensive roles. But Wendell's like obviously a really important part of our team, and one of the reasons that we're excited about the season.
You're able to get the contract done with Paolo this summer. kind of locking him in as one of the key pieces for this team's future. What does it say about where he goes next and how he develops now that he has, kind of the max contract, all the things that come with that, the expectations, the pressure that come with that? Where does he have to grow, and what does he have to show, not necessarily to prove that he's worth it, but to live up to those expectations?
The best thing about Paolo is that's an easy answer. We got to win. We're paying these guys because we want to win. And Paolo knows that. If you were to ask him, it's just like, it's an easy answer. I feel that, as I alluded to earlier, like when you say like these guys are 22, 23, 21 years old, you just anticipate growth. At some point, even a 29-year-old can get better, but not at the same pace that you expect these young guys to get better. And that's kind of what's exciting about our team, that a lot of our core guys are under contract for many years and that they have the internal drive to win. Even if that means sacrifice, they're gonna work, they're gonna make each other better. But if it means sacrificing, they'll do whatever it takes to win. And so that's honestly the next step for all these guys. Ultimately, we can talk about shooting percentages or this or that. Ultimately, they all know that we're all going to be judged on winning.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks so much, guys.
Beatty?
Coach Mose, another season. Just what's your excitement level as you enter this year? Maybe a little bit different expectations for this team.
It's extremely high. I'm excited for this group, the additions, the young guys, the older guys, the experience, the mindset that these guys have brought in all summer. Really excited to get going and get into camp tomorrow.
Outside additions like Desmond, Tyus, Jase, Noah, etc. How will these guys allow you to change or alter or improve the way that you play offensively?
Well, the biggest piece that everyone's talked about is their ability to shoot the basketball. The space in which they provide on the floor, I think, is tremendous. Then the other side of that, though, is their leadership, their experience, what they've done in this league, who they've been for each team that they've been on. I think that provides such great mentorship for our young guys, and also a mindset of guys that have done it throughout this league, and they can share that experience in the locker room.
As you began planning for training camp with all the changes that were made to the roster, how does this offense change? How does Desmond Bane and Tyus Jones, and then even adding some new coaches in Joe Prunty and God Chamberlain, how does that change the outlook for this team on offense?
Well, I mean, we want to focus. We talked a lot this summer of our ability to convert. And, you have the number 2 defense in the NBA. You hang your hat on the defensive end, and our ability to get out in transition was high. Our ability to convert is where we have to improve. And so being able to hang our hat on the defensive end still, but get out and push the pace faster in transition after you get those stops, after you get those steals, after you make those turnovers, we've got to make sure we finish on the other end. And that's what, Desmond and Tyus have done. They did that in Memphis when they pushed the pace. They were a fast-paced team. So they understand how we need to run and how we got to get out in the open court. Adding Joe Prunty to our staff has been fantastic because he's an experienced coach who's been a head coach before, been under some phenomenal coaches, has a championship under his belt, and I just think his experience and knowledge of this game is going to be good for us. Adding God Shamgod is another key piece for us to be able to have the experience, the knowledge, the reputation he holds, and his work ethic is second to none in so many ways, and how he's respected within the game by not just the peers but the guys before him, and that's going to provide a lot of opportunities for our guys to continue to improve and develop and get better.
Coach, how you doing?
Hey, how are you?
There's many ways to build a team, and you guys have chosen to really develop the guys you drafted in a combination of adding young veterans. Talk to us about the importance of that combination to make a real run into the championship.
I really think it's always about developing. I've just talked to some guys over there, just the ability to always develop, and it's going to be in different stages. And so Jase is going to be at a different development than Paolo. But the goal of the team is about how do you get better, how do you strive to put yourself in the best position to win a championship. And each guy's on a different path, but you're going to always develop these guys to become the best version of themselves. I will always stand on that because I think that's why these guys join this league. That's why we play this game, to become the best version of yourself on this court, to compete against the best.
Coach, outside of shooting, what in your mind does this team have to do better this year than it did last year?
Well, just like I was talking to Philip, I think it is about converting in transition when you've gotten the steal, when you've gotten the stop, because you go from being a number 2 ranked defense into not being able to convert that on the other end. So I think our ability to finish possessions off the right way on the other end after we've gotten the stop or gotten the steal or gotten the rebound, putting pressure on their defense by attacking early in transition and finishing. It's a faster pace, but it's a faster pace after you've gotten the stop. You can push it all you want, but you got to make sure you're finishing on the other end.
Coach, how validating is it? OKC's coming off of the championship. You could argue that their DNA, the way that they've built their team, is similar to what y'all have been doing here. How much confidence does that breed, and how much does the team feel that they can succeed OKC?
I mean, every team in the league looks at the champion and sees how they measure up. And I think our guys have done a great job of looking at what OKC has done and seeing some of themselves in them. And our ability to just look at some of the things that they've done well, but also adding our own flavor to it. What we do, how physical we are, how big we are, the advantages we can take of certain things. I think that's a very good, a big key piece for us.
So Jamal, how's it going? How you
Good,
doing?
how you doing? Good to see you.
Summer?
Very good summer.
Good. Question. There's a lot of expectations on the Magic this year to be one of the top teams in the league. That hasn't been the case for a few years, but it's getting up and up and up. So how do you guys handle that internally and mentally?
Well, I just told the group in the locker room, there's nobody outside of that locker room that should have higher expectations for ourselves than us. And so there's going to be a lot of things written. There's going to be a lot of people saying a lot of things about what we should and could do, but our standard is high and what we know we're capable of doing. And it starts with our everyday work, getting better every single day. 29 other teams are saying they want to win the NBA championship, and that's great to have, but it's the daily habits that we have to approach for us as a group, and a standard and an accountability we have to hold each other to in order to go do it.
Coach, when you first arrived, you talked about playing with pace, space, the pass. You continue to preach that. Has that approach changed at all over the years? And do you think this new roster with the new additions, personnel obviously dictates play style a little bit. Do you think the new additions will get to see the best version of that goal?
I believe so, and I'll keep repeating, having the defense that we had this past year, being number 2 in the league, but also being able to convert on the other end. A lot of it we talked about was shooting and spacing the floor that way. We did have a lot of open looks. The other side of it is once you get to stop, you have to convert on the other end. You make 2 or 3 more layups in transition, your offense changes. It changes the way teams can defend you because they know once you've gotten that stop, you're getting out and running.
Coach, a lot of talk about the expectations around this team for this season. What do you deem a successful season for this team?
We've talked about it in there. We're getting better every day. And I'll say it now on September 29th. Playing our best basketball towards the end of the season. And that's going to be steps every single day. Jalen Suggs says it all the time, you continue to stack days. How many days can we stack up until that end of the season? And every game is important, every practice is important, every recovery is important. How are we getting better every single day to build to be playing our best healthy basketball at the end of the season?
Coach, you mentioned Jalen Suggs. We understand the type of high-caliber defender he is, but he just got done posting his highest scoring average before getting hurt. Mm-hmm. How encouraging is his evolution on the offensive end, and how do you envision his growth as a two-way player moving forward?
You just hit it on the head. Being one of the best two-way players in the game, being able to set the table for his teammates, because he will have the ball in his hands a ton, and knowing when to distribute, when to attack, when to make plays for others. All of those small pieces are going to be big for him. Defensively, he's already shown what he's capable of doing, and I think he has more to give. But it's going to be great to have him back on the floor, just to be able to continue to contribute his energy, his effort, his toughness for this team.
Coach, Paolo obviously being a big man and a big force here for the team. A lot of the bigger guys in the NBA that are a force for their squad have assists as part of their game. With the improvement to the shooting portion of the roster, do you think that assist aspect will be accented more in Paolo's game to lighten the load for him and to put more points up from the outside?
Yes.
And to that specifically, lightening Paolo's load, how big is that for the marathon that the season is?
It's big for us to be able to rely on different guys on any given night and everybody willing to step into their space to play the right way. He carried a heavy load, and he's willing to take that on. And no matter what the circumstances, he was willing to take that on. And so the ability to have guys around him now that can continue to help him out. You have Franz, you have Desmond, you have Jalen, you have Dell. You have guys that are willing to step into these big moments, big games, and big plays, as Franz has obviously shown over in with FIBA. I think those are big pieces of what he's capable of doing, as well as being able to take some of that burden off of P.
Thanks for letting me get that follow-up, Coach.
Thank you.
Wanted to follow up on that then. How valuable was Eurobasket for the three guys that played there, and what did Randy bring back to kind of help kind of integrate that element for Franz and Tristan specifically?
It's invaluable. One, the relationships that are built while Randy's over there with Tristan and Franz. Just understanding a different side of the game, the offenses that they run, the different things that other coaches are preaching, the style of play. And then the last piece with all three of them being over there together was that mentality. They were chasing something. You're chasing gold, and they did that together. And they talked about what it took, the adversity that they hit, what you have to do to be in that, put yourself in that situation. And I think that comes back right to what we're trying to do with the Magic. You're chasing something bigger than you, and you're doing it for the organization, you're doing it for the franchise, you're doing it for the city, you're doing it for something bigger than you, and then you enjoy that journey along the way with the teammates that you're building it with.
Coach, what can fans expect from the Orlando Magic this season that they didn't see last season?
I'm praying for health, that's one. But two, the level of excitement and intensity and physicality of a team that's going to defend all out every single night. We're going to play as hard as we can every single night. We're going to push the pace every time we touch the basketball up and down the floor. And it's going to be a game in which we're just going to try to impose our will on each opponent that we face.
Coach, you and Jeff spoke after the draft about Jase that, he's going to have to earn his playing time on such a loaded roster, I guess you could say. Just what is it that you'll be asking of him this season, and what kind of a role do you envision for him moving to start the season?
We've talked about it. He's talked about it. We know each guy has their role and responsibility on this team, but for Jase, a young man who's coming in as a rookie, learn the system first. Understand when you're playing the point, understand when you're playing the two. Know who you're on the floor with. When it's time to distribute, when it's time to go make plays and score. He's got an unbelievable basketball IQ. He's fast as heck, so he can push the pace of what we're talking about. But he's a willing and wanting learner. He asks all the right questions. He's under Tyus and figuring out what he can do from an 11-year vet. And I think that's going to be great for him this year.
Coach, you talk about the additions of Joe Prunty as well as God Shamgod, and defensively you guys are phenomenal. But from the offensive standpoint, with Joe Prunty working with Giannis, and you also have God Shamgod working with guys like Kyrie and Luka, have there been conversations where they're saying, listen, I think this is how we can utilize our two-star players that we have here in Orlando similarly or well as differently in terms of expansion of the games of Paolo, Franz, and the others?
Absolutely. I think you can take something from both of them. Obviously, Sham has worked with Kyrie, Luka, Porzingis, Harrison Barnes, some of the great ones, some of the great basketball players, and taking something from each one of those guys. One, their work ethic, their leadership, the skills that they have on the court, and just the consistent routine that each one of those guys had. I think that's going to be very important. Joe Prunty, obviously working with some of the great players and winning championships and working with some of the great coaches. He's got some unbelievable basketball ideas offensively, and so he brings that to the table, and it's just being able to implement that on top of the things that we did well last year.
Coach, last year's offense primarily run through Franz and Paolo on the ball. Can you provide any insight into how the playbook opens up with the addition of Desmond Bane, let alone Suggs coming back, just in terms of setting up plays for Bane off ball, where maybe the primary goal of the play is to get that three-point shot for Bane more so than.
Yeah, I think with Jalen being back on the floor as well as Desmond here, you have quick decision makers, you have ball handlers that can also make plays. And so when you have that, you have 4 or 5 guys on the court at one time that can go make something happen. And I think that takes a lot of the pressure off of Franz and Paolo to try to create more than they need to. That the ball is going to hit their hands after it's shifted side to side, and they have a big-time three-point threat, a big-time playmaker in Desmond Bane as well as Jalen. So I think those are going to be big key pieces for us moving forward. Thank you all. Appreciate it.
I mean, it means the world to me, just considering, my first 3 years and me, just spending so much time here and being a part of this organization, to sign a second deal and, lock in the future here is an amazing feeling.
Paulo, you had a quote a while back that roughly said you wanted to add a point guard, add a shooter. How great is it knowing your front office is looking out for you to build a winner by bringing in, addressing all those needs this summer with a three-point sniper in Desmond Bane, Suggs recovering from injury, Jase, Tyus, the list goes on.
Yeah, it feels good, definitely happy with the moves that, the organization made and brought, 2 great experienced players in here and drafted 2 great rookies, I think. So just excited to get to work with the group and get on the court and start building that chemistry.
What's one part of your game you worked on this summer you can't wait to showcase? And also, your mom is a former WNBA player. What's one piece of advice she gave you that stuck with you throughout your NBA career?
Yeah, I would say one part of my game I worked on this summer, definitely my three-point shot, and also just my finishing, creative finishes, finishing around the basket, stuff like that. So excited to showcase that. And then my mother, she's given me a ton of advice over the years. One thing I would say that stuck with me was just, to always go out there and give 100%, maximum attitude and effort. Her and my dad stressed that to me all the time growing up, and that's something that I still apply today.
With the moves that this team made, there's a lot of kind of outside expectations. I'm sure there's a lot of internal expectations too. How do you kind of manage kind of leveling up to a higher level of playing, and how do you kind of try to meet those expectations?
Just by going out and working every day, working to be the best. Expectations are from the outside are one thing, but internally, you should expect a lot out of yourself as a player and as a team. So just living up to the expectations that you set for yourself is most important, and I think you just accomplish that by going out and trying to work your hardest every day.
Mike Brodsky, Florida National News. You and Dell, of course, added a new Blue Devil to the team with Tyus Jones coming on board. Can you talk a little bit about the impact of the Duke Brotherhood and also your involvement with K Academy and maybe the impact of Coach K on your game over the years?
Yeah, no, the Brotherhood, it's a real thing. I think it's something that you can always fall back on going to Duke. You know that there's a network of people and former players that are always there for you, no matter what you're going through or where you're at in life. And that's part of the reason why I try to go back, at least once a year. My dad actually participated in K Academy this year, so he was on the championship team that won, which I congratulated him on. And then I also got to go back a month ago or so for alumni weekend, so I got to see a lot of former players, obviously the new team that's there now. So it's just always good getting to go back there and soak that in, because that's a great place, a very special place, and a lot of great people have came from the inside those walls at Duke. So just for me and for the rest of the guys, I think it's just a blessing to be a part of that brotherhood.
How, if at all, did last season and what you went through, the time you missed coming back, change your approach this summer and the work you put in, and what was that work like for you?
Yeah, I think it was for me, it was just getting back to what I knew. I think heading into my third year, I tried something a little different in terms of the way I trained and how hard I pushed my body. And not saying that was the cause of my injury, but I think it did play a part. And so for me,
coming into my fourth year, I just wanted to get back to doing what I know and kind of listening to my body how I usually do rather than trying to do something new or different.
Paolo, there's been an accent on making some roster adjustments for shooting for the squad. How much of an opportunity does it bring for you to get involved from an assist perspective, and how much would that help the team?
What was that last part?
How much would that would more shooters get you involved from an assist perspective on the court, and how much can that help the team?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I always try to make plays for my teammates when I'm out there. That's something I take a lot of pride in, is not only creating advantages for myself, but creating advantages for everybody on the court. And so I think, the best way to maximize that is to have shooting. And, I think with Desmond and Tyus and, everyone else, that's going to be something that we can, use to our advantage, and something that I can use to my advantage, when teams load up or try to send doubles and stuff like that, just making the simple play and, getting the ball to our shooter.
Paolo, you mentioned you had the opportunity to go back to Duke. Just with Cooper Flagg coming in, just what of your advice have you given him? Will you give him, in terms of what he can expect as a number one pick, especially as yourself, a former number one pick, that he can expect this season?
Yeah, I mean, Cooper's a hell of a player. He's a special player, and he's gotten himself to where he's at, doing what he knows what to do. So I don't think there's much advice I can really give him. We've talked. When I was back there a month ago, me and him hung out, we had conversations, got in the gym. But it was more just, talking to him as a person rather than me trying to give him advice. I think he's handling it the way he knows how to, and he's going to learn from his experiences. And, our situations, I would say, aren't the same. So as much as I, would love to try to give him advice, I think it's best that, you let him figure it out. That's kind of what guys did for me. Now, if he came to me and asked questions, I was always there to answer and give my side of it. But just letting him kind of figure it out. He's a great player, and I think he's going to be great in the league.
P, since Desmond arrived, he made a concerted effort to connect with you, other players up and down the roster. When you have a major addition who kind of approaches the offseason in that way, how much can it help a team move forward?
Tremendously. Just being a new guy coming in and having the experience he has, I think he knows that it's important, that he builds the relationships with everybody on the team and just, the whole organization, because he's going to be a huge part in what we do. So, we got to get used to him. We got to get accustomed to who he is as a person and as a player. And, we got to adjust. We got to figure out ways to, make this all work and to make sure he's involved and he's a part of it. So I think he's just done a great job of coming in and just being a great teammate, to everybody.
Okay, we have time for Jeremy.
Paolo, as a team that's trying to get better on the offensive end of the floor while also trying to maintain a top 3 defense, how do you not sacrifice the energy that you're giving on the defensive floor in order to keep that same energy on the offensive end?
I think it just comes down to being efficient as a team, as an offense, trying to score without using, so much energy or having to work as hard to score, trying to, whether that's, sets or, a style of play that allows us to create easier baskets. Because like you said, we don't want to sacrifice our defense.
Paolo, as the team's success grows and expectations rise, do you have any specific goals for the season, whether it's individual awards, number of wins, or playoff success for the team?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of goals that I set for myself and a lot of goals I set for the team. And, I just know I'm going to go out there every day and work as hard as I can to reach all those goals. And those goals grow every single year. And so what my goals were 2 years ago aren't the same as they are now. So, I understand that that's going to take more work and more focus, but, I'm ready for it. So I'm excited.
Thank you, everyone.
Des, you've gotten to spend a little time in Orlando and in this building now. What stood out to you so far about being part of this organization?
I think it's just the people from top to bottom, starting with Jeff, Mose, trickles down through the players, support staff, just good people. We just had Magic Family Day yesterday. Everybody's bringing their families. Kids are playing around, running around, doing their thing. Organic vibe, like no need to force it. It's been a breath of fresh air for sure.
we talked to you after the trade went down, but what have these past couple months been like reflecting on that time and just your mindset entering this season with a new team, with a new logo on your chest?
Yeah, I mean, it is different. You know, it's my first media day not being in Memphis, you know, so I'm, you know, looking forward to the new opportunity and hitting the ground running, earning, you know, everybody's respect and really gelling with the team, gelling with the guys.
Yeah, Desmond, Jalen, we just spoke to him, and he said that there's a lot of high expectations for you and him. So how can 3-4 be the best backcourt in the league?
I don't think we got to do anything different than what we've done. You know, continue to stack days, continue to be willing to learn and push each other. It's, you know, it's not going to happen overnight. It takes time. You know, we got to build that chemistry and camaraderie. But, you know, with the mindset that he has and the mindset that I have, I'm sure that we can do some special things.
What have you learned about this team and kind of the way that this whole thing's going to come together over the last few months since the trade happened? You know, getting those first impressions of the organization, beginning to meet some of the players. I know you guys had that mini camp out in Vegas. Like, what have you learned about this group and about what this team can do?
I mean, we got some workers, some guys that are willing to come in here and really push themselves to improve and, you know, are willing to be pushed. And, you know, anytime you have that, you have a chance. We obviously, you know, got the talent in here, unique roster with multiple guys that can do multiple things. So it's about staying together and coming together.
Mike Brodsky, Florida National News. As you've been getting settled in here in the Orlando area, are there any particular tourist attractions you've discovered in Central Florida? Any restaurants that you've enjoyed visiting? Anything that you'd sort of recommend to others?
Yeah, we've done a decent bit. We looked for a home in Winter Park and other areas, so we spent some time in Winter Park. We've been to Icon Park. My family's been to Disney. We've ate over a couple restaurants on Sand Lake. So, yeah, we've been around, and my family's settling in great, loving it. The school's been great for my son, so no complaints. A little hot, that's it. A little hot.
Des, with your experience in Memphis, showing all versatility off the ball, on the ball, how do you project and see your role fitting in here with all that experience and versatility just translating right over?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what last year and a few of the previous years in Memphis had taught me, that regardless of situation, I'll be able to have an impact. You know, I'm willing to do whatever, however the team needs or sees fit. So I'm confident, you know, being thrown in just about any situation on the court on both sides of the floor.
Desmond recently.
Sorry. Good. All right.
Desmond, over here, sorry. Recently, you talked about the coaching qualities that Coach Mosley and Coach Jenkins share. How seamless has that made this transition for you, and how important is it to continue to build that camaraderie, especially in a new space?
It's been seamless, like you said, and I think that relationship is huge. Your head coach is the guy that gives you, you know, the confidence. He gives you the instruction. He's the guy that you talk through whenever a problem occurs. So having like an open communication system with him is huge, and I'm super excited to get in the trenches with him.
What's helping this ball club with outside shooting? Talk about helping this team win games in the East.
Sorry, I didn't get that last part.
Talk about helping this team win games in the East and your shooting.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's going to be beneficial for everyone. Like I said, we got a lot of unique skill sets, and you know, I think mine will fit right in and complement what a lot of these guys are already pretty good at. And you know, I'm just excited to hopefully take some pressure off and make things easier.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Goga, what was the Euro basketball experience like for you and being part of that this summer?
Yeah, it was great. Great thing for the country of Georgia. I mean, nobody has ever done that in the history of I don't know how many years that it was like 35 years that we started, being on Eurobasket and competing on a high level. So, making the top 8 team, maybe it doesn't sound that great after Franz and Tristan, won it all, obviously. But for the little country of Georgia, it's a huge thing. And the guys who were there, national team, for so many years, they've done so many things and they've sacrificed so much for the national team. It was worth, they deserved it, and it's not a little thing because, the population is 3.5 million, like the whole Georgia. And for us, being able to beat Spain, being able to beat France, it wasn't like a fluke, that we just beat some easier teams, that we made it out the group. We took it the hard way, and it was hard, also great for me personally. I think it's you get that little extra confidence that you can play with the best as a national team level, as a team, and also individually as well. So it was great summer for me, and I'm glad I got a lot out of it.
How much sharper are you going into the season, knowing that you played in a high-level tournament just a month ago?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, first of all, you're in shape. It's hard to get into the actual basketball shape with just practicing. So, I played, I don't know, like 3 weeks ago, the last game, and it was, it was just good physically, mentally also. I mean, obviously, you always want to rest during the summer, but for me, being able to, take that 2.5 months for national team and get something back is just it's just great for me. And we're not robots and just play basketball. In your head, you also have to be in a good place, and that really helped me. And now I'm just super excited to win some more games. And here you have more chances to win games, obviously more games here, so just super excited to start winning.
Goga, you were splashing threes for Georgia. How confident do you feel in your three-point shot today, and do you expect to take a higher volume of threes this season?
I've been confident. Well, maybe it doesn't look like it, but yeah, I've been confident because I put the work in. I mean, every single year it's the same thing. I mean, everybody knows here I have good mechanics. If we get into details, I come in here, and if somebody looks at my workout, like I'm a shooter, and I proved that on Eurobasket. So now. Last year I proved myself that I can be a winner. I can actually have a huge role with the team, and help the team winning the games. Now I think I have that little bit extra confidence. Maybe I can take a shot or two, and it's not gonna be. I mean, nobody has ever said to me like, oh, I'll be honest with you, like, don't shoot the threes. Nobody has ever said that. Jamal never said that, or anybody around the team. So I have that, green light from them to take the not crazy shots, pull out the duffel. I said, like, not to take something like step back or something, but like the, wide open three. It's gonna be different game for everybody. It's gonna space the floor well, and me seeing myself, still, hitting those shots on Eurobasket and be a good shooter. I mean, I think it's a little extra confidence, and it's going to translate into here as well.
Mike Brodsky, Florida National News. Goga, with the Magic playing over in Berlin and London coming up in January, what does it mean to you to see the NBA playing in Europe?
I mean, I'm going to be closer to my country. That everybody from my country, whoever can, they're going to come over and watch. My family will be there. And personally, I mean, it's amazing to bring the NBA into Europe and be part of that. And it's, to go to London and Berlin. I mean, it's great places to be, just in general, just spend time. And also we're going to have games there, and that's going to be a lot of fun. And a lot of German fans for Franz, Mo, and Tristan are going to be there. And just for us, obviously it's good, but for the fans in Europe, it's huge. They don't get to watch a whole lot of NBA games live, and they're really fans of NBA, and it's gonna be a huge opportunity for them, and just in general, it's brings people together. So I mean, it's gonna be great, and super excited.
Where do you want to see your game grow this season? What areas do you want to see kind of that you worked on?
Me personally.
You personally.
During the season.
During the season.
During the summer.
During the season.
During the season, okay, I got it now. During the season, I mean, me personally, like I said, I have a little bit extra confidence that I can, make more winning plays and help the team win more games. I've said that, and I think I've done that. Everybody sees that's what I do. I mean, everybody knows I'm gonna make that right play. Everybody knows I'm gonna rebound. Obviously, have to stay on top of that, keep doing that. But I think I can do a little bit more, for the team. When I see that. We're struggling. I think I can step up because I have that confidence coming over from a national team. It's not like we played some bad teams. Like I said, we played high-level teams, and I'm gonna have that confidence. And me personally, just stay right in mindset. That this is all about winning. Through ups and downs, we have one goal here. I said it like we're stronger. Together, but we're unbeatable as one. Like when we play as one, we're gonna be unbeatable, and it's gonna be hard for us to lose. To be honest, if we do the right things, and when we lose, then we know we're not doing the things we should be doing. So then we go back, be honest with each other, hold each other accountable, and we're gonna do that because we're damn near on this third year. We're coming we've been like a family, but closer and closer and closer together. Guys are winning Eurobasket and World Cups and this and that and doing huge things, and just gotta realize that this is the most important thing, to win the games. And me personally, I'm gonna hold myself accountable for that, and I'm sure the other guys will do as well.
Goga, obviously the Georgia national team, huge summer this year for them. Have you seen that spill over into some of the youth? Like, is there a new level of excitement for basketball in the country of Georgia, and do you think there could be a new generation of basketball players that come from it?
Oh, well, there is some guys definitely, but I hope it's going to be a little motivation for the young kids that, we can just from the same country, from the same place, little country, that it's possible. You can go to the highest level. You can either be, it doesn't matter, NBA, EuroLeague, any other leagues, and then play for the national team and do, make your. I mean, it's not about we made it to top 8, we win it all. I mean, I'll be honest with you, it's about making your country come together and be happy for you, and everybody be together. It's all about that. It's not about the medals only and this and that. But I hope it gives a little motivation to the young kids in Georgia, because I was one of them, and just looking at the national team, just playing any game was motivation for me to put on that jersey and play for the country. So I think we did that as a team, that give that motivation to the next generation. I mean, that's the most important. It's not about winning and losing. It's about that. So hopefully. Thank you, guys. Wonderful. Well,
Yeah, it's all good.
AB, what was this summer like for you? What are the areas you really focused on, and how do you feel coming into training camp here on Media Day?
I feel good coming into training camp. This summer was just about the work, all aspects. Shooting was a big part of it. Big emphasis on getting my shot up, and I feel like that's been going well. So super confident in that area, and everything else just last couple of weeks getting back in the gym, playing open gym, running, just getting the flow back in the field. Just feel like it's going to be a good year.
Mike Brodsky, Florida National News. Can you talk a little bit about your basketball camp and how you've been giving back in the community, not just yourself, but even with the rest of your teammates as well?
Yeah, I mean, giving back in the community is something that's big to me. That's just a big family value for myself and my family. That's just something we've always done. We have a good group of dudes on this team, coaches, front office, whatever you want to call it. Everybody's mostly good people here. So that's something we take pride in. That's a big part of the magic, is being present in the community, and that's something that we're going to keep doing.
AB, what was your reaction to the Desmond trade and signing Tyus and having those veteran voices coming in and changing what the backcourt and what the offense is going to look like for you guys?
Yeah, it was, I think it was surprising to, a lot of people, especially for me. I didn't really know. I didn't hear about any rumors or anything about that. So it was really just cool to see, interesting, and they've been great. They, like you said, they got veteran leadership, and they've been in the playoffs, been in big games, played on the highest stages. So it's good for our team, and they did a good job so far, just being around and just giving us what they know.
You mentioned what you worked on throughout this offseason. Where do you want to see yourself grow during this upcoming season?
I'll just say my aggression. Just being in attack mode every time I get it, regardless of how the game's going, how the season's going, how that possession's going. Just being aggressive, staying in attack mode, and just fully trusting myself for 82 games.
What's one part of your game you can't wait to showcase this season? And also, what's the story behind your jersey number?
One part of my game I'm willing to showcase, it's probably just, my continued shooting growth. Being able to shoot in the mid-range, being able to punish smaller defenders, shoot over them, and then just continue to make shots from the three-point line, whether that's off the dribble, off the catch, in transition, or however they might come. And then my jersey number is just, as a kid, when you don't really know much about basketball or sports, you just watch the TV, and certain players just get your attention, I guess. For me, that was Gilbert Arenas, so that's 0, Agent 0.
AB, can you talk about helping this team win? You guys bring in a lot of talent, players from last year and a few new pieces. What do you see? Talk a little bit about helping this team win games.
Like personally, I'll just say my ability to guard multiple positions. I can get low and guard point guards. I can guard wings. I think that's big for the team, and I think this year I can be more aggressive and just make it easier on those other players on the court. But yeah, just continuing to be aggressive on both ends. I think that's just an easy standard I can have for myself, and I think that's something I can do every game.
AB, a lot of the conversation nationally about this team is you being an X factor. How do you kind of relish that opportunity, and what do you think that looks like for you this year?
I think it just looks like me being more aggressive. Just pretty much as simple as that. Being more aggressive on offense, on defense, looking to make more plays, and yeah, just turning it up and fully trusting myself and living with whatever happens.
What has stood out to you about Jase and maybe Summer League or some of these camps you guys have done already, but what stood out to you about him?
He's a good player. Honestly, what stands out glaringly is his speed. He's so quick, so fast, super twitchy, and he's just a good athlete. But, he's a great player. He's got a really nice shot. He makes a lot of shots, so it's easy to play with him out there. And he understands the game, so it's just another good player that understands the game, competes on both ends, and that's pretty much the identity of our team.
Want to ask you about your brother. Beckham had a big summer, got a lot of big offers. How excited are you to see, what his future is like, and what do you think his ceiling could be as a player?
Yeah. He had a good summer, like you said. I'm super proud of him. Luckily, I was able to watch, a lot of his games and just watch his development. And you asked about ceiling. I don't really know how to put a ceiling on a 16-year-old, but I feel like, he just has a great understanding of the game, and he's super talented. So he loves it. He puts in the work. So I'm super excited and interested to see, how he keeps maturing and learning the game, and it's happening. So it's been fun to watch.
And who wins one-on-one right now between the two of you? That's what I thought. Just making sure.
Yeah, it's me. It's definitely me. He's starting to get some points though. Some points. So.
There are obviously a lot of expectations on this team after the trade that they made this offseason, and obviously internal expectations coming off of last year. How do you manage those, or make sure that you're kind of living up to or on the progress to achieving goals that are much further along than they were last year?
Well, I think for one, any pressure that we have on ourselves is just based upon our belief that we have in ourselves. Obviously, we know and see the expectations that other people are having for us outside of this building, but we try to focus on what we believe we should do. And we probably have similar expectations to everybody outside the building. So we try to focus on that, focus on us, and just try to take steps towards that goal every day. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah. Thank you.
Wendell, how was your summer, and what are your expectations for this season for yourself and the team?
Had a great summer. One of my first summers in the past 2 or 3 years where I've not had to worry about any injuries, just kind of just training, getting better on and off the court. Expectations for myself going into this year is to be that dog night in and night out for this team. Hit the glass hard every night, no matter what happened the night before or whoever we're playing, doesn't matter. Just being that dog, like I'm just saying, like just for this team. Then as a team, I think, everyone's saying we want to win a championship, but I think, in my opinion, as long as we continue to stay together throughout the whole year, no matter if we won 5 games in a row or lost 5 in a row, just continue to have that poise that we've been talking about for the past year or two. Just continuing that, and I think that will propel us into the postseason or whatever that may hold.
Dell, you've been through a number of media days now in your NBA career. To have expectations like that is a privilege. How excited are you to be part of a team that's playing for the type of aspirations that you guys have?
It's super exciting. Out of my 8 years, this is probably the most talented team I've been a part of. I'm just super excited just, for that first regular season game for them to tip the ball off and, show the world what we're made of down here in Orlando, what we've been cooking up. So, from the first guy on this team to the 15th guy, I feel like we're pretty talented, and like we've seen last year, we went down with all these injuries. We can hold our own against any team in this league with whatever 5 we put out there. So I'm super excited.
You mentioned having all the talent on this roster. How has the dynamic changed, or how does it feel like it's changed as you guys get ready for training camp?
It's just opened up the floor a lot more for guys like Paolo and Franz. Adding guys like Desmond, Tyus, another summer of guys getting better. It just makes us that much more dynamic on the offensive end. And then defensively, there was no drop-off. We're going to continue to be that top 3-1 defensive team in the league. That's probably been our biggest struggle, is just the offensive side of the ball, just trying to figure out how to put more points up on the board. And I think, adding a guy like Desmond and Tyus is going to make it so much easier for everyone else to get open shots.
Del, when we spoke to Jeff earlier, he mentioned you were the guy that will do whatever it takes for this team to win. What does that look like for you on the court, and how do you feel your role changes with all these new additions coming in?
I don't necessarily think it changes. I think it honestly makes it a lot easier for me, in my opinion. If you look at guys like Desmond and Tyus, Desmond's a knockdown shooter. Tyus is, one of the best point guards in terms of turnover ratio and things like that in this league. It just makes it a lot more easier for me. They're going to find me in sweet spots. They're probably going to start doubling Desmond throughout the game when he's knocking down threes. So this is going to make it so much easier for me. And then in terms of what it looks like for me to do whatever for this team, it changes night in and night out. Some nights it's about just me crashing the glass, getting every rebound. Some nights it's about me knocking down open three-pointers. Some nights it's about me catching in the pocket and making the right play. Or maybe it's a mixture of all 3 of them. So it just kind of depends on what the team needs of me that night. And I've signed that oath to just tell them that I'll do whatever for this team as long as we're winning. That's all I care about.
Mike Brodsky, Florida National News. Now you've got another Blue Devil joining the team with Tyus Jones, of course. For you and Paolo, what does it mean to be part of the Duke Brotherhood, and how does that community, how's it factored into your game and your relationship with Coach K and all of that? Tell me about that connection.
Coach K, I brag about Coach K in so many times before. Even though I've been away now for almost 10 years, he's instilled something in me that something I can use on and off the court, and that's just living in the moment. That was something I struggled with coming into this league. Being down on myself when things don't go my way, or being too high when things are going my way. He was a guy who kind of helped me understand the living in the moment, no matter what's going on around me. So I praise him for that all the time. And then just being a part of that community, just knowing that we got a lot of guys from the Brotherhood in the league. Every team usually has a Duke a Duke guy on it, so that's pretty unique. But yeah, it's good to just know that you look back and you know that you're a part of such a strong community in the basketball world.
You played your career high in games last year. I know that was one of your goals. You maybe didn't hit your full goal on that, but you were able to do that. How vital was the healthy offseason? How vital was it to be healthy in this offseason and continue to grow that way?
My confidence just is at an all-time high right now. I'm feeling good. I feel like, when I had this summer just to train, it wasn't necessarily about me becoming a better shooter. I know I can shoot. It wasn't about me being able to make moves in the post like I know I can do. It was just about me boosting my confidence, because the more you work, the more you're on the court, you get out there, you just feel like, okay, I know this is going in. Even if it doesn't, I know it feels good. I've shot a million of these shots throughout the summer, so it just felt good to just kind of have one of those summers again where I can just work on my craft and just continue to build my confidence, which would be needed for this team, in my opinion.
Wendell, what's one part of your game that you worked on this summer that you can't wait to showcase? And also, you were spotted at the WNBA All-Star Game this summer. Who's your favorite WNBA player, and what do you admire about her?
I love that question. This offseason was big on just me being more of a knockdown shooter, being a guy who can be relied on in certain parts of the game to knock down open shots. So it was a lot of shooting going on this offseason for me. My favorite WNBA player is Angel Reese, and I just love how she has a I don't care mentality. She goes out there every night and just does her thing. So I praise her for that for sure.
Thank you. And last question, who do you got winning the WNBA Finals this season?
I got to go with Phoenix. Shout out to Nate Dogg.
Okay, Wendell, sorry. A couple of coaches added to the staff this summer, Joe Prunty, God Shamgod. Have you been able to spend any time with them yet? And what are your impressions of them? And what do you think they'll bring their expertise to the coaching staff?
Yeah, I've spent some quality time with both. I've known Sham since I was in high school, so just to have a familiar face in the building again is always a good thing. But both of those guys come from winning coaches. They understand what it means to win. How do you win? When the going gets tough, they know what to do, what not to do. So I think those additions you're going to really see the power in them. Later on in the season, going into the postseason, when they're able to kind of settle down the team or hype up the team if needed in moments where it's must-win times. Sure.
You mentioned having confidence into this offseason. How vital was that playoff series against Boston? You were such a key factor in the kind of defensive game plan and helping the team have a chance in that series.
Wait, I'm sorry. Say that question one more time.
No worries. No worries. You said you had a lot of confidence into this offseason. How critical was their performance in the playoffs last year, and kind of beginning that confidence with how key you were in the game plan to that series?
Yeah, that playoff series, I definitely started to tap into feeling like myself a little bit. Not saying I wasn't feeling like myself throughout the year, but I was battling an injury a lot of people didn't really know about. I just was playing through it or whatever. But that playoff series, was me showing the world I'm still the same Wendell that can go out there and average a double-double or whatever the case may be, and help my team rally on both ends of the court. Being able to switch 1 through 5, knocking down shots, being a monster on the glass. That's kind of what I wanted to do for the team. And also it was the playoffs. It was either I do it now or it's going to be something I'm going to be thinking about for the rest of the summer. So, with that mentality coming into this year, having this great offseason that I had, that's from game one. Game one, I have to, and that's what I'm holding myself to that standard is game one, I got to play like that throughout the whole year, and then going into the postseason, continue to play like that.
Wendell, I got one serious question, one not so serious question for you. Do you consider yourself, let's say, as versatile as any big man in the NBA? And the fun question, let's say a little hypothetical 2-on-2, NBA likes to involve the WNBA maybe for a little 2-on-2 game. How about Wendell and Angel Reese versus Asia Wilson and Bam? Who wins? First to 11.
All right, for your first question, I definitely feel like I'm one of the most versatile bigs in this league. You know, you look at guys like you just said, Bam. Bam is probably the ideal type that everyone thinks is the most, versatile big in this league. But I'm right up there with them. I feel like I can do pretty much anything that's needed. Can guard 1 through 5, can rebound, can screen well, can pass the ball really well, can knock down open shots. So, yeah, I definitely think I'll rank up there in terms of versatility. In terms of the 2-on-2, definitely 11-0. Wendell and Angel for sure. Shut them out. Shout out Bam and Asia though. Good. Yep. Appreciate y'all. Yep.
Jeff was good. Jeff was helpful. Tristan's great.
Hello. Tristan, what was this summer like for you? What was it like playing in Eurobasket and having that type of experience?
Yeah, it was an amazing summer. Really, really fun. Really kind of still kind of thinking about it, and it's surreal to win a tournament like this, but also be on the same team with my brother, one of my teammates here from Orlando. Unfortunately, Mo couldn't be there, but playing out there with Franz, very special, and it was just a great vibe to be in that tournament. Same with the summer league. That was really fun in Vegas, and some vacation before that. So there's a lot of stuff going on this summer.
Do you feel like your role with Germany was similar or different? Like, how do you feel like what you went through with them, what they asked you to do, can translate to what you want to do for this game?
Yeah, pretty similar. I think we in Germany we had Dennis and Franz who were the primary ball handlers. So you have to kind of find your own niche to be effective in, and I think that's going to be similar here with the amount of ball handlers that we have on the team and our versatility. But I'm really excited. I'm really looking forward to it.
Could you describe, Tristan, how your game and just your basketball IQ as a whole has changed from a year ago before you had played an NBA game to now where you've got a full season under your belt, the Eurobasket Gold?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to think back to what I was before that. I feel like you might have to ask somebody else to judge that for me. But, there's been so many new impressions and experiences that I've taken into, from this whole season, from Eurobasket, from Summer League, from practices here, from the off-season workouts here. There's so many different areas that I feel like I've improved in and learned different stuff about me.
How valuable do you feel that experience playing a pretty big role in that Eurobasket, winning in a tournament setting? How valuable is that going to be for you and your development as you come back here?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at our team with the Eurobasket, we had a lot of experienced guys, and I feel like that's also the reason why we won the tournament. It's just because there's so many people that have already been in similar situations and know how to act in those situations and kind of been through it. So that's my piece of experience that I can take for situations down the line.
Tristan, how excited are you for January, the Magic going to Berlin, getting to play not just like a preseason game, but a real game against the Grizzlies in January? How excited are you for that in Berlin?
Yeah, I'm hyped. I'm curious what the crowd's going to be like out there in Berlin. I hope everybody's showing up and showing out. But yeah, it's crazy to be a part of this. It's the first time that we're going over to Germany, the NBA as a whole, and to have that obviously with 3 Germans on one team, and just right after we won Eurobasket, there's a sense of like excitement around basketball in Germany. So perfect timing to do that this season.
Tristan, you obviously played with Franz last year and spent a ton of time with him over the summer. What did you learn about him that maybe you didn't know before, or what was just kind of, how was it to spend that much time with him?
Yeah, we spend a lot of. We play the card game BS. Yeah, Franz is a good liar. That's what I learned. No, we played a lot of that. You know, card games. You know, we were playing FIFA out there with the boys. There's a lot. We just spent a lot of time together, and it was all good quality time and fun time. And you know, on the court, he's doing what he's been doing this last year, and then some. So he's continuously evolving, and he's getting better at every single thing that he's doing out there, and it's crazy to see because you know, I'm basically playing with him all the time now. I'm same national team, same club here in Orlando, and it makes our jobs so much easier.
Mike Brodsky, Florida National News, playing with Oscar over in the Eurobasket, of course, and even just growing up. What was the impact of your brother on your game, and also having an opportunity to play with him overseas in the Eurobasket tournament?
Yeah, I mean it's really special to be able to share that with him, just because, you know, he's always been a couple of age ranges above me, so we never played on the same team, but I've always been there to watch his games, kind of followed what he'd been doing, followed his footsteps in terms of, you know, college basketball. So there's a lot of similarities in our paths, and that's because he did it first, and I, you know, decided to kind of copycat off of him. But it worked out in my favor, and, you know, I'm in the position that I'm in because of him, you know, and he's a huge reason why I play this game, and, you know, the way I play this game, and the places that I've been with this game. So to be able to finally be on the same team and share something that special, like winning the Eurobasket and having our whole family out there and being on the court afterwards, and I don't know, just ties us even closer together.
Tristan, there's seemed to be a bit of an acclimation period for you at the beginning of Eurobasket, and then you came on really strong. Were a big, you know, contributor to that team winning the gold medal. What changed for you, maybe, you know, in the middle of that tournament, and how can you take that and help the Magic this year?
Yeah, just the approach, I guess, being very present, thinking about one game at a time, one play at a time. I feel like that's what kind of helped me the most to snap back into it, and, you know, it's something that I'm definitely taking into this training camp and preseason, and then beginning of the season, and throughout the rest of the season as well. And I feel like it's good that I went through something like this in the summer, just so it's not something that's gonna be a roadblock for me in the season.
Tristan, this team brings back a lot of talent and some new faces, and the faces that were here last year. Just talk about helping this team win games this season.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of familiar faces, but some unfamiliar faces too. I mean, it's very. It already, everybody kind of already gelled together. You know, it's funny to be in a locker room like this and hear stories about, like, teams that didn't really get along too well, because it seems like last year and this year, I'm 2 out of 2 right now. I'm 2 for 2. So it seems like these guys have been here for forever. You know, and they've been in Orlando. They've been putting in the work, trying to gel together and kind of learn the offense and stuff. And great guys. You know, funny to be around. Super open-hearted. It's a joy to be around this group once again.
Tristan, getting back to Eurobasket really quick, you played with a lot of guys, very cerebral, no one to be aggressive, no one to be physical, no one to take their shots. You know, how does that help you as a second-year guy know how to elevate your game in those type of things?
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to experience. You know, being in situations like that and knowing kind of where your niche is or what you can do, where you can push the boundaries a little bit, and when to go for it, you know. And I feel like that's experience that's going to be very valuable for me this season.
Tristan, what's one part of your game you can't wait to showcase this season? And also, what's the story behind your jersey number?
Jersey number, I don't really. It's more so that I had the same jersey number in college. So I just took the same one. And then on draft day, I found out that Mo was 21, Franz is 22, and I'm 23. So that lined up perfectly. But I'm ready for the season in general. You know, I'm really just looking forward to this group as a whole, to come out there as a unit and kind of present that Magic basketball. You know what I mean?
Being here for the last few weeks, getting ready for the season, getting a chance to play with Des, how much can he change this team? How much can his presence kind of like affect this team and kind of pick up the offense?
Yeah, he's making his presence felt for sure. You know, the way he communicates, over communicates, and kind of holds everybody to that standard too. It's, you know, and the type of person he is, it makes it even more fun to play with him and play hard and play together on the same team.
Tristan, how do you think those later games in Eurobasket help prepare you for maybe having a bigger role in the playoffs this year round?
Yeah, I mean it's a playoff situation really. It's a do or die every single game. So, you know, the pressure is kind of on, and to be in those situations and still perform at the highest level or be efficient or be impactful, I feel like that's what it's all about. So figuring that part out is really helpful for, you know, once we get down the line to the playoffs. Cool. Thank you guys.
No, so we're going 2 first.
Yeah.
All right, scratch that.
That's one. Nah.
So that's 1-1.
1-0. That's 1-0. You're trying to get over on me.
That's 1-1. Yes, sir, Ski. Turn me up. For sure. You're a good man. We gotta take our flick after this too. Nah, don't show.
Jett, what was this summer like for you? What are some of the areas you focused on, and how are you feeling entering into this media day?
I feel like I focused on my mind most importantly, getting my mental sharp, helping my IQ out. Defensively, offensively, I don't feel like, you know, anything was in particular. I feel like I got better as a whole, most importantly. So I think, you know, just spending time away from the facility and working every day as hard as I can. So I think I improved in pretty much every area. Yeah.
This is your 3rd year now. Just what are your expectations for yourself as you enter a big year?
I got big expectations. You know, I think I could, you know, impact my game on both sides. So it's just a matter of doing it now. Yeah.
Jett, the guard rotation is very different this year than it was in the year prior. Does that kind of elevate the level of competition you have in training camp here? And do you feel an extra sense of motivation going into this season compared to years past?
That's a good question. I honestly feel like, you know, I approached it pretty good last season, my preparation. So I'm not really going to change much just in terms of just, you know, sustaining that throughout the season, because I had a pretty good training camp last year. So I think, you know, just staying down, focusing on the main thing, and watching film, spending time with coaches, I think that's going to help a lot. Yeah.
There's obviously like an increased level of anticipation and excitement for the season after the team acquired Desmond. The offense feels like it's going to change a little bit with him. Does the playing faster, this kind of new style of offense, fit your game a little bit better? Where do you see yourself kind of fitting in how this group's going to come together?
Yeah, I think playing faster, you know, just gives everybody an opportunity. Playing faster, sharing the ball more, and that just like playing fast, kicking in the head alone just helps for shooters to get in rhythm. I think rhythm plays a big part of it, touching the ball, being a part of the offense. But yeah, it's the little things that, you know, people kind of glance over sometimes as a basketball player. So, you know, Desmond definitely helps with that. Tyus helps with that as well. So now we just got to go out and do it.
Jett, new look, a little bit of different hair going on. What was the thought process behind that? Anything?
Arnie told me I had pool workouts during the season to build up my lung capacity, so I just thought it was a lot just to maintain, twisting it, retwisting it. I'm like, man, let me just cut it all off so I could just get in and out of the pool efficiently.
Mike Brodsky, Florida National News. Jett, you come from a big basketball family. Can you talk about the impact of having a dad who played and other siblings who played and the impact that they've had on your game?
That's a good question. I think it's since a kid I wanted to be in the NBA like my dad. To keep it as real as possible. That's always been my goal to get here. Not to get here to stay here. So yeah, since I was a child, it's always been because of him, and having my brother play the same sport as well, especially in college. That was super fun, motivating. They're your biggest critics. So, all the stuff you hear outside, they've already said it already. So it's good having them. Yeah.
Jett, what's the story behind your jersey number?
That's a good question. Nobody ever asked me that. That's a good question. So in high school, we played on Fridays. One of my favorite movies was Friday the 13th. So I remember somebody was guarding me, and I was like, yo, it gets scary on Fridays. And they was like, that's why I wear 13. And then also I was born on the 13th. My mom didn't want to have me on the 13th because she thought it was unlucky. So she waited to 12:02 to have me on the 14th. So I think there's some that draws me to the number. Yeah.
Thanks.
Jett, do you want to talk a little bit about your involvement in the community? I know you've got a basketball camp and you've done a lot of volunteer work. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, when I grew up, I always just loved going to camps. I remember my dad hosted a camp when I was younger, and it was for free. So I just love the aspect of just being for free and just giving back and just paying forward. I feel like that's the most important. All the knowledge I learned just being here, I can just give it to a kid so he can get to that destination quicker and understand what's happening faster. So, and also with the Alzheimer's movement, my grandma has Alzheimer's, so that means a lot to my family. So as much as I can impact and help and bring awareness to that, I'm going to. Yeah.
Jett, first couple of seasons, playing time has been a little bit limited. What do you think needs to change going into year 3 for that to change?
Honestly, I just think I need to be consistent, more off the court and on the court. Just with, like, daily habits. I feel like you just wake up and just do the same thing every day. That builds consistency on the court as well. So just editing your life as much as possible to, because believe it or not, off the court impacts on the court. So just building those habits. That could be texting AB to go over and watch film at his house. We live in the same spot, or just going the extra mile as much as I can. Yeah. That's it. Appreciate y'all.
What's up, everybody?
What's up, J.I.? All these media days have come for you, some with different expectations than others.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this team entering this season, coming into media day?
I feel fantastic. This is a little weird doing this here. I feel great. I know the team is excited. We got new faces. We got young faces, and we're just excited about what this team can be, what it can do, and looking forward to it.
Jonathan, a lot was made about your weight and how you stood at the end of the season at exit interviews. How do you feel physically, and what was the work put in this summer to get where you are now?
Yeah, I feel awesome. I feel amazing. I definitely lost some weight, which feels good. And honestly, we didn't really do a lot. It was just like, I'm just not going to eat as much. and so that helped. And working out, helped me shed some. So I'm feeling good.
When you look at your season last year, you talked about a whole bunch of things. Where did you see that you needed to improve and kind of get back to maybe where you were, or be a contributor on a team that has some real expectations?
Yeah, it was obvious I struggled to shoot the ball last year. From shooting 37 and a half the year before to 25 last season, I struggled. Not just physically with shooting the basketball, but it took a toll on me mentally, and so I feel like just getting back to myself. I think even just losing a little bit of the weight gives me more freedom to fly around and be myself, and then it also just calms me down to just play the game that I can play, and so I'm excited about that. And then just having fun, there were times last season for me that weren't fun, and I'm looking to get back to having fun and being here with the guys and enjoying myself no matter what happens.
J.I., y'all were number 2 defensively and one of the worst teams offensively.
Right.
In order to kind of get more balance, you probably need to incorporate some changes onto offense. Do you need to sacrifice some of that energy for the defense? And if not, how do you make sure you incorporate that energy on the defensive end of the floor or the offensive end of the floor without giving anything up defensively?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we've addressed some of those issues just from the team perspective of guys that we've added. And I think that it's going to be obvious, once we get rolling, some of the weapons that we have. And so I think the bigger question is how do we maintain being a number 1, number 2 defense while getting better drastically offensively? And I think that can be something that we could, fall into where, okay, we're this offensive team now. We may lose a little bit of that defensive identity, but I don't see that happening at all. And looking forward to us being more balanced.
Jonathan, you're the longest tenured player on this roster
Crazy.
now, which is wild. You've been here a long time. Is this the most excited you've been going into a new season compared to all the others?
Man, I feel bad for saying yes, but yeah, it's like every season is different. For a lot of seasons, I was coming into it rehabbing or doing stuff, so I wasn't as excited about the start of the year as I am right now. But I'm very excited, super excited. It's hard to gauge it, but I don't think I could be more excited than I am right now.
J.I., how do you envision your role next year with all the roster overhaul? And are there any minutes restrictions? You feel good to go, fully unlimited to play as much as you need every night?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any minute restrictions. And as far as my role, honestly, I don't really know. We're going to find out through training camp and through the early, games and really just the season. It changes so drastically throughout the year about what's needed, what's working, what's not working. And so I'm just going into it with an open mind, open heart, just allowing Coach to let us know what he needs from us, and we'll figure that out as we go.
Hi. What's one part of your game you worked on this summer that you can't wait to showcase? And also, Peanut Hardaway and Tracy McGrady wore the number 1 jersey here.
Yeah.
And how do you balance building their leg? Well, how do you balance, how should I say this? How do you balance honoring their legacy while building your own story in that same number?
Got you. In terms of my game, honestly, a lot of it for me, honestly, was even more mental, this summer than it was, on the hardwood. I definitely worked out a ton, shot the ball, really well throughout the summer. And so, expecting to showcase that. But even just the mental piece of kind of trusting myself a little more, even finding my identity outside of this game and residing it in Christ has been something that's really helped me a lot. And then when it comes to the number, it's like it's tough. Penny and Tracy are Hall of Famers, amazing players, and I feel a sense of gratitude to even be, able to wear this number. And I've had my ups and downs as a player and through my career, but I feel like for me, just even defensively, I've kind of made it my own, and looking forward to continuing that.
The last 2 seasons you've been able to play 60, 70 games, had maybe minor health issues, but nothing major. Yeah. How freeing is that entering this offseason or coming out of this offseason? Not maybe it's still kind of in the back of your mind, but it's not the issue anymore.
Honestly, I don't really think about it. My goal this season is 82, and so God willing, if nothing happens, if I don't get any colds or sicknesses or anything like that, I got allergies right now, but I should be fine to go 82.
Hey, Jonathan. You spoke about a lot of your offseason was spent dealing with your mentality. Mm-hmm. Can you speak to how your faith helped you with that?
A ton. I think the biggest thing for me is the identity piece. When a lot of times when your identity is rooting in something that, basketball, it changes so often. You have good games, you have bad games, and it's so easy to succumb to circumstances. If everything is going my way, then I feel great. If anything's not going my way, then I feel bad. And I think getting my mindset and my identity outside of that, which is easier said than done, but placing it on Christ helps me to be okay in all circumstances and situations, regardless of what's happening, good or bad. When you really think about it, if Christ got out of that grave, none of this really matters, and everything is okay. So,
AJ, Coach Leonard Hamilton, Florida State, retired. What does he mean to you as a coach, and how do you see his legacy being remembered as Florida State?
Coach Ham is the man. I was able to go up to Florida State this summer and spend some time with him, and he's just great. He is such an amazing legacy for everything that he's been able to do in college basketball as a black coach. And so I'm excited for him about this, kind of turning chapter in his life. And I don't know what he's going to do, but I'm sure he's going to do something because he's not sitting around.
Mike Brodsky, Florida National News. J.I., as we talked about earlier, you've been on the Magic roster more than any other player at this point for more seasons. How does that impact your role and your responsibilities in terms of maybe mentoring other players and that sort of thing?
Yeah, I mean, even outside of being with the Magic the longest, we got a lot of young guys. I feel like I've played longer than a lot of guys too. And so just understanding the ebbs and flows of a season. There's so many things that change. There's ups, there's downs. And for young guys, it's usually like, everything is going great, and then they hit a wall. I hit that same wall. And so just being able to speak to that, poising ourselves as a team, not allowing ourselves to ride emotions of good and bad, but just staying, even keel.
J.I., we know you're debuting the Judah 2 this year. Can you talk a little bit about maybe what was different in that process from the Judah 1 and like what functional changes maybe you made with the new shoe?
You're the man, bro. Thanks for asking. So we started with the Judah 1. It was the first NBA signature sneaker with visible Bible verses on the outside, and they had the Bible verses in the back, and now we got the Judah 2 where the Bible verses are in the front of the shoe, and just super excited about that. We got 6 colorways and excited to showcase them throughout the year.
Hey, J.I., for you, or for Florida State, go Noles, there was a coaching change. Can you speak to the coaching change as well as one of your former teammates taking on that GM role?
Yeah, so Terrence, that's my guy. I'm excited for him, and it's definitely a new thing that's happening in college basketball, so I'm excited. I know he's going to, take it, that responsibility well, and I'm excited for him. And then Coach is great, too. Coach is a great coach. I remember him a little bit during my time in college, but also when I got to the league, he was with Golden State. And so I'm excited for what he can do and what he can bring to the team. And I'm excited to see what they do.
What's your favorite basketball movie of all time?
I feel like it's got to be Loving Basketball. I feel like that's a lot of people. I watch that with my wife still sometimes, so yeah. Cool. Appreciate y'all.
Doing today? Good. The organization, first and foremost. It's nice to come into work every day. The facility is, amazing. And just the people. From top to bottom, from the front office to the coaching staff, to the equipment guys, strength staff, like everyone's it's just been extremely welcoming, and that's made it easy for me. But everyone's also on the same page. Everyone's focused and ready to go, and so it's been a good, first couple weeks for me.
What's one part of your game you worked on this offseason that you can't wait to showcase? And also, what's your go-to workout outside of basketball?
Yeah, I think for me right now, I was just, the off season, continuing to just get up a bunch of shots, continuing to try to, extend my range on from the 3-point line, and just continue to work on my body, get in shape. We're trying to play faster this year, so continue to get in, just try to as best shape as possible. And workout-wise, I don't do anything too out of the ordinary. I'm big on saunas and steam rooms, so I would say that's probably as crazy as I get.
Tyus, we spoke with you after you signed with this team.
Mm-hmm.
As in the months since then, what has been reflecting on that moment been like for you, and what is your mindset? What do you want to accomplish this season?
Yeah.
I'm thrilled with, the decision to come here, and it's been, again, nothing but great times, for me and my family since getting down here. I got a son who started kindergarten, and he's loving it. We've done the Disney World thing, and that was fun, and we got some more dates in our future, I'm sure. But it's been great and enjoyable so far. And as far as basketball goes, obviously there's a goal in mind, right? Like that's what we're all on the same page with what we're trying to do. And that's what drew me here is the chance to compete for a championship and to really chase that. And I want to help in any way I can to elevate this team and do whatever is asked of me.
Tyus, when we spoke with Jalen a few minutes ago, he really lit up when we were asking him about you and y'all's relationship. Could you describe your relationship with him over the years and how excited you are to play in the NBA with him?
Yeah, Jalen, that's my little brother. We go back, and it's surreal to kind of take a step back and see where we're at, and to understand we're both in the NBA. We're teammates, and it's been fun. I'm looking forward to the season. We're gonna have so many memories. Our families are extremely close. Like it's a surreal feeling to be able to be teammates with them. But yeah, that's my little brother. And I'm been his biggest fan. Gonna continue to be. And I know it's the same, coming from him. And we're gonna continue to push each other to try to get better. And ultimately, that'll make the team better. I'm trying to help him in any way possible. Been in the gym a lot with him already these first few weeks here. Just trying to just any knowledge I have for him, anything I can see that can help his game. And vice versa. We're just talking the game. It's just been so cool to be able to be around him and in this work environment, because we haven't done that before. We've worked out in the summers together and things like that, but to really show up every day and work on our craft and work towards the same goal together has been cool, and looking forward to doing it the rest of the year.
There's obviously a lot of anticipation and excitement for the season, but now that you've been here for a little while, what gets you excited about the season? What kind of maybe surprised you that you're now excited about?
I just think the group that we got, just getting to know the guys. There's no egos in this group. Everyone's, wants the next person's success as much as their own, and that's rare. But just how guys get along, the friendly banter back and forth, the competitiveness in the gym, whether it's playing pickup, shooting drills, things like that. It's just a good group, down-to-earth group, and I think it's just going to be a fun, memorable year.
Mike Brodsky, Florida National News. Tyus, as part of the Duke Brotherhood, can you talk a little bit about what that means?
Mm-hmm.
You were part of the last Duke championship team.
Yeah.
You got Paolo and you got Dell here on the team as well. But what has it meant to be part of that Duke community and even working with Coach K?
It's meant a lot. It's meant a lot to me. It's really a brotherhood. We don't take that lightly. But it's just such a special group to be a part of, with obviously Coach Shire now, but for me, Coach K, just the legacy he's built, what he's done at Duke and how he's built that up, to be able to be a small part in that is just an honor. So I don't take it lightly. I don't think a lot of us take it lightly. And it's just a special brotherhood and special family that you get the chance to be a part of. And for me, it's cool to have a couple teammates who have kind of been in that same light, with Duke being the biggest basketball brand, one of the biggest basketball brands, obviously, in the world, but at the college level, the biggest. So it's been cool, and it's something that I'm thankful for, that I got to be a part of, and something that I cherish. Thank you.
I'm not sure if you're aware, Tyus, but Magic fans have been begging the team to trade for specifically you for not just a year, like 5 years running.
Yeah.
Do you have a message for fans now that their prayers have been answered?
Yeah.
Now that you're rocking the blue and white.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate the love. I plan on making those fans happy, and look forward to playing in front of them. But this has been a place where I've kind of had my eye on and thought the fit was there the last few years, and it eventually played itself out. You know what I mean? And the time is right now, and I'm excited to be here. And I think the fit is right, and I don't want to put too many expectations on it, but I know it's going to be a good year.
Tyus, you've talked a bit about the transition to a certain extent and getting comfortable here coming to Orlando, but with camp starting here soon, what is it you're going to focus on to make sure that you complete your transition smoothly? What's something you think has to happen in order to become a part of the Magic in the full form that it can happen?
Yeah, I think just getting familiar with everything, getting familiar with my teammates, with my coaches. Like for me, majority of these guys have kind of been here, played for Mose for the last few years. You know what I mean? Like you kind of hit the ground running in a sense when the season starts up. But for me, this is all new. So all the terminology is new. All the personalities are new. You know what I mean? Like I know I have a few connections already, obviously, but again, like this is my first time. Like I know Jalen really well, but this is my first time being teammates with him. So you're still kind of getting acclimated and adjusted. So I think as a point guard especially, you got to know your teammates like the back of your hand. You got to know the system like the back of your hand. You got to, figure out exactly what Mose wants from not only you but from the rest of the team, because you got to be the extension of the coach out on the court. So I think, honestly, just getting acclimated, understanding the system, understanding my guys, where they want the ball, where does P like the ball, what spacing does he like? Franz, what are you looking for in transition? What are you looking for in the half court system? Understanding, okay, what makes AB go? How can I get him to go? Do you have to pull him aside to talk to him? Can you call him out? Just different things for each teammate is something that I take personally, and something I take pride in as being a leader, and especially being a veteran on this team. That's going to be really my focus coming into the season. And it's a process, it's a journey. We want to be better as the season goes. We want to continue to take steps forward. But I think for me, the basketball will come, but I want to just get familiar with everybody.
In talking with Coach earlier about Jase, he mentioned you being someone that he can learn from as the point guard. Just with your experience, what can you kind of share with him, or kind of as the season goes on, to help a smooth transition?
Yeah, I'm just going to try to share everything with him, honestly. I remember being in his shoes and having good veterans to kind of take me under their wing, give me tips, tell me what to look for, tell me what not to look for, show me how to do recovery, show me how to get to work early, stay late, things like that. So just the NBA game is so different than the college game, and that going into it, but there's still things you have to figure out. And as a vet, you want to try to help that learning curve just speed up. So just trying to be as vocal with him as possible, trying to share as much knowledge with him that I can. And he's receptive of it. Like, he's asking questions. He's eager to learn. And those are the type of rookies you want to have.
Who are some of the guys for you that you remember that helped you?
Andre Miller. Learned so much from him. Ricky Rubio. Learned a lot from him as well. Only got to play with Dre for a year. Played with Ricky for a couple. And then even into my third year, I played with Jeff Teague. And I know it's my third, going into your third year, playing in your third year, you kind of understand, the league and the NBA game, but there's still just different things that Jeff was able to teach me, at that point in my career still. So I would say those are kind of the three early on in my career that I took a lot from.
Hey, Tyus,
Hey, a lot is made of your assist-to-turnover ratio, rightfully so. Congratulations on excelling so much at that. Where do you find the balance between a willingness to take risks and make plays as opposed to protecting the ball at all costs? Like, what's your philosophy there?
Yeah, I think it's just a feel. It's just a feel. I try not to talk about it too much, not jinx myself. So if there is a time throughout the year where I have a pretty good stretch, I'd appreciate it if you guys just kind of let it go and let me continue to not turn the ball over. But I think it's just balance. It's just balance. It's understanding the game, understanding defensive coverages, understanding numbers. Do you have numbers? Is it a time to really push it? Is it a time to thread the needle? Is it end of the shot clock? I think it's just all about balance and understanding when you can kind of force it a little bit, when you need to not risk it. But for me, as a point guard, it's kind of setting the table, being that leader. If I'm turning the ball over, throwing the ball all over the court, what am I really expecting everyone else to do? And we have the ball in our hands the most. And so you're just trying to lead by example and kind of set that tone of valuing the possessions. Usually the team with the lower amount of turnovers wins the game. So the more shots on goal we can get, the better. Yep. Good. Thank you.
Now, what have the last couple of months been like for you acclimating to Orlando and being in the NBA?
So off the court it was pretty tough because arriving from France to the US was a pretty complicated process. Social security number, credit score, stuff like that. That's not something you have when you arrive from France. So it was pretty tough. But after on the court, it was just amazing how everything was done for you to be great. You don't have nothing else to think that work, and that's cool and great feeling.
When you look back on Summer League, what have you worked on since then, and what are your goals for your rookie year in the NBA?
So I worked on a lot of things after the Summer League, but it was pretty much the same thing as I was working for the last 3 years. Just the shot mechanic, confidence in taking the shots too. And after my objectives for the rookie season is just be on the court, and I don't really set limits in what I can get. It's just work and see where the work is going to get me. But being on the court obviously is going to be the main objective.
Noah, which of the veterans have really worked with you during the offseason, if any, and which players are you most looking forward to sharing the court with?
When you say off-season, is like even when we were practicing here?
Yeah, since you've joined the Magic.
Okay, all of them. Honestly, I'm somebody who really think that you can get some good parts in everybody's game. So I've been looking up to Desmond, shot making, shot selection, Paolo, how he uses his body. I was really impressed how he uses his body, and I think I have to learn a lot from him this year. Franz, I haven't played with him since he came back from the European Championship, but I've been looking at them, especially Paolo and Franz, because we pretty much have the same height and weight. So, but yeah, no, all of them. Even Jase, who's not a vet, I've been learning from him, and he just teach me some things he knows, and I teach him some things I know.
It's obviously a fresh experience for you as a rookie, but can you feel the anticipation that this group has for what this team can accomplish? And
the what?
Can you feel the anticipation for what this group feels like they can accomplish this year?
Like expectation?
Yeah, like expectation,
oh, yeah.
Anticipation.
It was really clear since the Summer League. We all have the same objective. It's a big one. I think everybody wants to get to the finals this year. So it's good to know that everybody have the same objective in mind and is ready to do whatever it takes to accomplish it.
Noah, are there any certain players from other NBA teams that you're really looking forward to coming up against? Any guys that you really looked up to and you're looking forward to sharing the court against them this season?
So like I was saying, I've watched a lot of NBA growing up, so I know a lot of players and I have a lot of players who inspired me. But I can name three in Paul George, Jimmy Butler, and Gershon Yabusele, who were, I think, the three main guys who were like, all right, I want to be like them and I want to play like them.
Obviously, you guys haven't started officially practicing yet, but what has Coach talked to you about, like your potential role for this season, and how do you see yourself fitting in?
We didn't really talk about role, but like I say multiple times, like this year is going to be my fourth season being a rookie and being one of the youngest in the team. I was pro for it's going to be my fourth year pro, so I know what it takes to be on the court and get responsibility as a young player. So I guess I'll have to just start over again and do the same thing as I've been doing the last 3 years.
Mike Brodsky, Florida National News. In the time that you've been here in Central Florida, is there anything that you've found that you've enjoyed doing? Any tourist attractions, any theme parks, any restaurants that you've found, things you've enjoyed doing?
I want to do there's in front of the West 55 a restaurant, Mexican food. That's great. Like I literally could eat there every day. That's really a great place. I don't want to do advertising for it, but it's a great place. Yeah. Tourist attraction. So 2 days ago I was in Gatorland. So that was really fun. I've learned a lot, and I went to Island of Adventure with my mom, who couldn't do half of the roller coasters, but it was really fun, and I had some good time there.
What's one part of your game you can't wait to showcase? And also, what's the story behind your jersey number?
So for my game, I think it's going to be versatility. I like one thing about me and my game is that every time sometimes I do some things and people are like, oh, I didn't know he could do that. And I think showcasing that I'm able to do a lot of things is going to be one thing I'm going to enjoy this year. And my jersey number, so here, Orlando, the zip code is 32801. Where I'm from, Bondi, is 93140. So I just decided to carry that over in the U.S. and especially like in France, we have departmental tournament where you go against the other best player of your department, and in the 93 we have a specific way to play basketball, really aggressive and hard. So I just wanted that to be a focus and a motto for me for the years to come.
Thank you.
The Magic go to Berlin and London in January. What does that mean to you to play in the NBA in Europe and be closer to home?
That's great. I think European players are taking over the basketball nowadays. You just have to see as like the past MVPs, the best players in the league. It's just great to at least be a part of that group of players who can represent Europe and show that the basketball world is evolving.
You watched the NBA on television growing up sometimes. Did you see the Magic? Did you see Dwight Howard and learn about some of the players, Grady and Shaq, and the history? Tell us what you saw when you saw the Magic when you were at home.
So I didn't watch it on television because the games are at 2 or 4 a.m., so I don't want to wake up. But yeah, so the first highlights of a player that I watched were the highlights from Dwight Howard. And now being a part of the organization that drafted him and where he's been so great, and you had so many great players going through that organization, was just a great feeling. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I got the table. I'm a little nervous up here.
Jase, just your first NBA Media Day. Obviously, we talked to you after the draft, but just what is this experience like for you today and your expectations for your rookie year?
It's been super wild. I mean, you always dream of, putting on an NBA jersey and taking all the photos and being in the photos. So now that's just like a dream come true. It's a special moment, but just going into this rookie season, I mean, we got a talented team. That's the biggest thing for us. So just trying to learn from these guys, all the older guys, all the all-stars, just learn from every single one of them.
Your dad is a former NBA player. What's one piece of advice he gave you going into your rookie season?
Just don't take any moment for granted. You don't want to have a time where you said, oh, I wish I did this, or I should have done this. So just try to take every day and just work. Work every single day, come in, give it 100%.
And what's one piece of your game you can't wait to showcase?
I would say my shooting ability. I think that's the biggest thing for me. I think that's where I really took a big step in, I would say, from high school to college. And I'm always looking to shoot, ready to shoot at all times, and just showing that off.
Summer League feels like a long time ago. What have you been working on since then, and what did you kind of learn from that experience, as short as it was in Vegas?
Just the physicality. I mean, it's 10 fouls in Summer League, so guys are going to use that. So just it taught me that guys are going to be physical with me right away. So came in here, and I think one of the biggest things I kind of just looked at was the weight room. Always being in there, always getting stronger, and then just the IQ and feel. A lot of guys are trying to jump your plays because they already know what you're doing, so making sure you always got a second read.
Jase, there's a lot of talk about how in a few years back there was more teams that were just trying to play 7 or 8 guys just to try to get that, but now you're looking at rotations that go 10, 11, 12 deep a night. And do you think that that's somewhere that you could maybe get involved in and just get your spot and possibly make some noise in your rookie year?
Definitely. You always want to try to be on the floor with the highest level guys. So just coming in, you just got to keep your head down and work. Every day, just try to build a bond with these guys, try to be like brothers. Like, so far, these guys have been big brothers to me. Just learning, especially Tyus. I think Tyus is really one guy that's kind of just telling me how to be a pro every day and how I should attack each day.
Yeah, we talked to Tyus about, the mentorship, the veteran presence that he has, especially for you and Noah and some of these other guys. Just, how valuable will that be for you and Noah and the rest of the guys, just to have that other veteran mind there to kind of help you through this rookie year?
Oh, super valuable. When you have somebody who's been doing it for 10-plus years, you want to learn everything that they're doing. I mean, you don't last in this league that long if you're not doing something right. So just learning from him every day, especially for me being a point guard, just learning from a guy like that, who's led the league in assist-to-turnover ratio for multiple years. So just learning what he's doing right.
Mike Brodsky, Florida National News. Coming from a basketball family, your dad obviously played with the Magic. Your brother is a top prospect coming up. Can you talk about some of the lessons that you've learned from your dad, but also maybe some of the lessons you've been passing on to your younger brother?
I mean, it's been a lot of lessons in that household, especially, parents, both of them who played. Mom played in college, dad played at the level that I'm playing at. But just a lot of moments. Just don't take anything for granted. You always want to work. And I think kind of already told my brother that, but he's always been a hard worker his whole life. So it's not really much I could say, especially how he plays. I mean, he's same caliber as my dad with athleticism. I don't really have as much athleticism as both of them, but I always just tell him, like, just enjoy this process. Like, I miss my college recruitment. Like, I miss going through that process. So I'm just telling him, like, just enjoy that moment. Like, and when you pick a college, enjoy that. So just don't take any moment for granted.
Jay, some rookie.
You've been able to be in the gym a little bit with the guys as the ramp up to camp has begun. What have you kind of seen from playing with the more veteran guys as this team starts to come together, and how valuable has that been to just kind of be in the gym and kind of soak in the atmosphere that this team has?
I mean, when you always have guys coming in early and ready to work, I mean, it always shows the character of a team. And I think one thing I've already seen is how gritty these guys are. Like, these guys come down, they put their head down and they work. Like, they come in, they do their jobs, they stay late, come in early, get their work done. And I think that's one thing that's really just, like, blown my mind is, like, these guys are really, like, invested in this.
Jay, some rookies come into a team, they walk right into playing time. You're in a position where you're really going to have to earn, every minute. How do you kind of embrace that opportunity?
I mean, you always want to be on a team that's ready to compete right away, honestly. And, we have the team to do that. So for me, in any way I can help, shape, or form, whether that's on or off the court, I just want to be that person. If that's not playing and, being a great teammate, I'm ready to do that. If it's a little bit of playing time, I'm ready to do anything, honestly. I just want to be, a positive impact on this team.
Kind of to that end, just what are your personal goals for this rookie season?
Just getting better every day. I think that's one thing for me. Just, keep developing as a player, keep learning, always keep an open mind. Don't knock it until you try it, honestly. I mean, a lot of guys have been telling me to try a lot of different things so far just with my game, and I haven't ignored a single one. So just, getting better every day.
Jase, coming into your rookie season, are there any guys from around the league that you look up to that you're really looking forward to facing, guys from other teams that you're excited to share the floor with them this season?
Definitely. I think, Kyrie Irving's definitely one of those players for me. Russell Westbrook, those are really two guys, that were my favorite players when I was growing up. And then, just guys from my draft class. I mean, Carter Bryant, that's one of the guys that I've literally played with since I was 15 years old. Me and him were, best friends on that team. So, to have somebody up in this league that's had that bond with me already, that's going to be a special moment when we both take the floor together.
What's the story behind your jersey number?
One of it is Kyrie. I mean, Kyrie's always been one of my favorite players. So that's the first time I ever wore 11, which was 8th grade. And then my full name is Jase Richardson II, so it's kind of like the second. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
What's up, everybody? Yeah. Dan the man. Give it to me, dog. Give it to me, dog.
Jay, first off, how are you feeling, and how excited are you for this team entering Media Day?
Yeah, I feel great, man. Mind, body, and spirit, all alike. Very aligned. Very happy to be in here, to see a full building, smiles, laughter, conversations about direction and where we're going. I can't wait to continue to get it started, and this is always the perfect jump off to the year. So, yeah, I'm feeling really good. Good to see you.
Jalen, instant reaction to the Desmond Bane trade, getting another dog like Bane in here. Have you guys talked about that defense and just building an identity in the backcourt as the toughest duo?
Absolutely. We've had a lot of great conversations, to be honest. He's especially been around this past month and in the building, which I have been as well. So it's created a lot of great space for us to be around, have conversations, both about basketball, obviously, because we're in here working out, and we've got to be enjoying workouts together and really kind of get the feel of being on the court with each other a bit. But I think really what I've cherished most so far, outside of seeing him playing the runs here and be just an absolute dog, talk the most smack in the building, which I was talking from the sideline. I wasn't even playing. He was turning me up. But just our conversations about life, about where he's come from, about the trials that he's faced, how he's gotten to this point in his career, being able to share vice versa, the things that I hold true to my heart and close to my heart, and the things that make me who I am, the people that make me who I am, and getting to share that side of everything. I feel like it's how you truly create chemistry, how you truly create that connection to where on the court I can trust Dez fully because I know Dez, and Dez can trust me 100% because he knows who Jalen Suggs is. And I think when we get to mesh that, as time passes, as we continue to play, as the season evolves and goes on, I think the league, everyone who follows basketball, will continue to see why not only was that one of the best acquisitions of the summer, but why me and Bane can be one of greedy talk, the best backcourt in the NBA because of how well versed we are in every aspect. We either are elite or we cover for each other in where we are elite, so I'm very excited to get to hooping with him along with everybody else.
Jalen, you and Tyus are going to play a good chunk of the minutes at the point guard spot this season. What are your conversations with him been like about how to, just be a better player?
The fact that I got Stones in the building with me is makes little Jalen jump for joy, literally. I watched Tyus' whole journey coming up, literally blazed the way for point guards in Minnesota, especially from my eyes. He was doing everything that I wanted to do. Elite in high school, one of the best players. Took time at every game to take care of everybody who came out to Apple Valley to watch his performances and give love. Always gave love to me and advice and confidence. And then he goes and wins a national championship, which was high on my list, which I almost got. He low-key got me on that one. But then, come full circle. I get to watch him in the NBA, and now we're in the same locker room talking about direction, talking about how to lead, the things that he's seen and felt in different environments, different teams, and at different points of the year, beginning, middle, and then playoff time. All moments that he's been in has been amazing. And I know him to the down to the root, down to the core of who Tyus is and his family and where he comes from. So that relationship is so pure. And I'm very excited for everybody to see who Tyus Jones is, for our guard group, not only me and Tyus, but AB, Jase, for all of us to continue to grow, evolve off of each other. But yeah, having Tyus in here namely, so cool. It makes me so happy.
Jalen, we talked with Jeff Weltman earlier. He said the team's targeting you to be back for opening night. Do you feel like you can hit that target? And what hurdles do you have physically, mentally to reach that point and be ready for the start of the season?
Yeah. That's my goal. My goal was training camp, which I had to let go. A little bittersweet, but I'm really having it and placing it all in God's hands. To be honest, I've kind of taken that out of my psyche, taking that out of my control and giving that to Him, and really approaching every day with the intention to do everything in my power so that I can be available and ready for the boys and for the squad. Come game one. So obviously that would be ideal, but I think just the everyday process of coming in here, being on the table, getting my body work done, coming in the weight room, making sure that I get my strength training and prepare every part of my body from quad to calf to knee to hip to glute to hamstring. This is the most intentional we've been about hitting all of those muscle groups, and that's just talking about lower body, specifically one leg. My upper body feels the strongest that it's been. Back is something that's been a focus, especially upper back muscles, for shoulders, for jumper, for stability. Core has been an integral piece of what we've done. So again, it sounds like a lot, and it has been a lot, but it's all been so purposeful, and I can't wait for the final result to come, to kind of be out of that space, to step back into playing, and kind of put everything together that this summer has allowed me to work on, body, mind, spirit, pace, speed, control. All that will come together in due time.
Mike Brodsky, Florida National News. Jalen, growing up, you were a Mr. Basketball and a Mr. Football. Were there other sports that you played growing up? And also, what message would you share for other young athletes that are trying to make it to the pros one day?
Yeah, I had some time in baseball, middle school. Floor hockey was a staple for Jase Suggs growing up. I did track and field in middle school. So I kind of dibbled and dabbled in a bunch of different places. But I think it just taught me balance. There are still, to this day, there are things about football that I carry over into basketball. There's things about track in terms of jumping and landing and being explosive that I carry over right now. Everything that I've played up to this point kind of comes together to make who Jalen Suggs is as an athlete, not just a basketball player, but an athlete, because that's how I try to approach the game. That's how I try to approach everything that I do around here. So I think my message to young kids would be to explore, expand, put yourself in all these different spaces because they can teach you, and part of it is just the love of the game. It's not about winning. It's not about, being perfect in one space or one sport. It's about growing who you are as a human being and being able to explore those different spaces with different teammates and work on different muscle groups and have fun in different game day environments. I think it's something that every kid should get to experience just because of how integral and how much it taught me. So, yeah, that would be my message. Enjoy them all.
Jalen, in your mind, what's the difference between the Orlando Magic with you and without you?
That's a good question. I think the biggest thing that I learned last year, especially coming back, playing that one game in Detroit or against Detroit at home, and then sitting out and only having to use my voice, is how important energy is to winning, how important mindset is into being a great team. And I feel like that's something that I can provide. I think that's one of the gifts that God has given me, to be a leader, to be a voice from such a pure space, I wouldn't say I'm a leader by force. I wouldn't say I'm a leader, by fear. I would say that I lead by love, I lead by joyfulness, and I lead by example. And that's something that last year very much taught me, was how important that is to who Jalen Suggs is as a player. Not just the skill set, not just the points being put up, the stops being accumulated, the rebounds, assists, or steals, but actually just by presence. And something that this summer has allowed me to work on, because physically I haven't been able to be. It really has been voice. It has been working on the mind and spirit, so that when the body finally catches up, it is aligned. Because everything that we've been doing with the body has been literally to achieve greatness. I'm sparing no time, no expense. Everything, all my resources are being pulled in and dedicated to really myself, which is the funny thing about this league. It kind of forces you to be so intentional and so detailed about who you are as a human being, physically, mentally, emotionally. So yeah, I think that's the biggest difference. That's something I'm going to continue to try to bring and continue to try to empower others to do, because I think the more that everybody else can do that, the more that everybody else can believe in that and carry that energy, the better it will be. With Jalen, without Jalen, with different pieces coming in and out. Whoever steps on the floor and whoever the present five is carrying that same exact mindset and energy that I am.
Hey, Jalen, it's Chuka over here. What's up?
Chuk.
All right, I'm Chuka with 9450 Media. And, there's been a core group of players, on the team within a few years. So I just want to know, what's the locker room energy like between, everybody in the locker room, and how are the new players, connecting with, the core group that's been here for a while, the leadership?
That's the hardest part about this business, the ever-changing nature of it. Bringing different guys in and out of locker rooms, releasing guys, trading guys. You're bringing in brand new personalities, brand new human beings into an environment that is so intentional and so pure. You're around these guys for 7 months out of the year. You're around their families for that same amount of time. You're sharing stories, laughter, cry, physical pain, mental, emotional pain. All those things are being shared with the guys in the locker room, and we've had great ones. Losing Cole, losing Gary, losing KCP this summer was hard. Chuma was a great one to have in this locker room, and the joyfulness spirit that he brought. But bringing in Bane, bringing in Tyus, bringing in Jase, Noah, Jamal Cain, and Orlando Robinson, to kind of go off of everybody else that we already have in here, the environment that we've already created. All of them. See what I'm saying? You're bringing in guys like that. Pure joy, man. Pure spirits is really nice. Not only on the court are they so elite, but in the locker room, man, we share a lot of laughter. We share a lot of great stories, experiences, things that have brought us to this point in our journey, authentically too. There's no lies, there's no shade, there's no talking down or looking down on anybody. We're all in one equal playing field in our locker room. We all love each other and want to win as a unit, not individually. And yeah, very excited for the guys that we brought in. They've done exactly that, and yeah, I can't wait for us to actually build up some memories, experiences, and stories to tell.
There's obviously still the step of you getting on the court and playing kind of full speed with these guys. But how do you see your role shifting or changing with the new players, or where do you see your role kind of?
Yeah, it's funny. I feel like I've studied a ton of football this offseason. It's kind of helped take away some of the mental strain that has come with not being able to be out on the basketball court and play in games and be active here. And I think something that coincides exactly with the responsibilities and the things that I'm taking on this year has just been quarterback play. Studied Jaden Daniels and got to have a lot of really dope conversations with him. Obviously, and all my boys in Pitt, sharing stories, being able to chop it up with Rogers and things that they have going on that end. Getting to talk to all my boys in college, all my college QBs, who are rolling. Dylan Raiola is another one who I've got to share a conversation with, just about perspective and journey. But like leading a team is so hard to do. Leading a group of grown men is not easy, and I really resonate with that fact in being a quarterback. And how I'm looking at this year is, you have a full offense at hand. You got wideouts that are elite. You got tight ends. I call Big Dale my tight end. Got the O-line, protecting us. I feel like I really have every piece I need to go out and conduct and lead, a team to greatness, lead a team to a championship, which is what we're chasing. And so, yeah, I think that's one of the things that I'm really excited to step into this year is an evolved form of that. Jalen Suggs, the leader. And every day is an opportunity for me to practice. be that, because this is the first time the rookies are seeing me in that light. This is the first time some of the new guys are seeing me in that light. And this is the first time, again, in some time that I've stepped into that light. So really getting to feel, how far I've come in my own journey, how far we've come in our own journey, put it together, and literally go achieve greatness. It's something I'm looking forward to.
Good. Thank you.
Franz, obviously a longer basketball summer for you in particular. How are you feeling, entering media day, training camp after, expending so much energy into Eurobasket?
Yeah, first of all, what's up, guys? It's good to see you guys. No, I feel good. I had 2 weeks, obviously, since the final. I got to spend some time at home, see some friends and family, and obviously feel in shape basketball-wise, and super excited to be back here and see everybody.
What are your expectations for yourself and this team entering this season?
I think our expectations should be higher than any of the other years. You know what I mean? I think we added obviously Desmond Bane, but I think some other really good players to the roster, and I think talent-wise, mentality-wise, is we should go into the year thinking like a contender, and not cutting ourselves short, and believing in the chance that we got.
When the team traded for Desmond, Franz over here.
My bad.
Yeah, you're good. So when the team traded for Desmond, what was your reaction, and how much have you kind of studied his game up until this point, and how do you think he is going to coexist with you and Paolo and everyone?
Yeah, I mean, it's always bittersweet, those moments. Obviously, I was super excited. I think he's a hell of a player. I thought right away that he fits really well into what we needed. Obviously, he had a great run with Memphis, and I think just the way he plays, can do stuff on the ball, can create for other people, but it's not necessarily ball dominant. So I think that fits our group extremely well. I do want to mention, though, I was a little sad too to see some of the guys go. So wish them nothing but the best, and obviously we're here now, though, so I think we're ready to go.
Obviously, a lot has happened over the summer. Played a lot of basketball over the summer. But what did you learn from this experience of last season? The ups and downs, kind of the highs from early in the season, going through the injury, coming back, and then trying to find your way through this off season.
Obviously staying healthy is the main thing. I think not just for me. I think for the whole group. I think other than that, I think just offensively finding a better flow for the whole team. Just making sure everybody's in rhythm and is confident out there. And I think that would be the biggest difference. I think if we can do those things, like I said, I think we'll have a great chance.
Hi, Franz. Congrats on winning the medal this summer.
Thank you.
You're welcome. What's one part of your game that you focus on this summer that you can't wait to showcase this season? And also, what's been most rewarding for you to celebrate this NBA journey with your brother?
Yeah. Obviously I worked a lot on my three. I thought I had stretches in Eurobasketball. I shot it a lot better. And I think I can be more consistent with that. So I'm super excited to show that, obviously. And then I think the most rewarding part about, just living with my brother is, I got to know him on, I think, a completely different level than, what we knew each other as teenagers and, as growing up. So obviously now we're brothers, but we're also just best friends, and there's dynamics there that you go through, and also tough times that you go through together. So I think that's been super rewarding, just getting to know him on a whole different level.
Hey, Franz, you obviously spent quite a bit of time with Tristan this summer. Just coming off of his rookie year and then having the performance that he did with you guys, just where did you kind of see him grow the most over your guys' run?
Yeah, I'm super proud of Tristan. I thought he had a hell of a summer. It's not easy to come into that team and find your spot right away. So, he hit some super huge shots for the group, brought great energy, and I think played a similar role to what he can play here. So, obviously, I thought he showed a tremendous amount of swagger, honestly, out there. Resilience, was locked in important moments, and like I said, I think a lot of the stuff that he did there, I think is going to translate to our game here.
Franz, you guys were the second best team defensively last year. Obviously, the offensive is carrying the load, you and Paolo. as an offensive player with these new additions to the team, what do you guys need for you guys to maximize your potential as a 1-2 punch? What do you look for in the teammates that you have?
Yeah, I think when you look at our roster last year or how we played, I think it's always easy to say, oh, these guys scored the most, so they did their thing. And at the end of the day, we got to play well as a team. So that's on me and Paolo as much as anybody to make sure everybody's in a good spot, that we can flow as a group, flow offensively. And I think for our group, I think we're very tall but versatile. I think we should run as much as we can. And like I said, I think that the goal of our offense should not be to maximize just me and Paolo, but maximize everyone's ability. So that's how we got to play, and that's what training camp is for.
Mike Brodsky, Florida National News. With the game coming up in January in Berlin, are you and Mo looking forward to that in particular, and anything in particular that you're going to be showing to the other players, any tourist attractions or restaurants?
Oh, yeah. Man, I was so excited when that came out. Obviously, it's honestly a little surreal, you know what I mean? That we get to play a real game there. Everybody and their mom is going to try to come to the game from Germany, from Europe. So, I'm super excited for that. Just because I know, the NBA can feel super far away for people outside the States. So, an experience like that, hopefully there will be a lot of young kids there, because those experiences go an extremely long way to getting people started with the sport and kind of starting that fire. So that's why I'm super excited to play there. We'll try to get as many tickets as I can, and I'm gonna try to show them the whole city. Obviously, the weather won't be as good as here, but I'm sure they enjoy some of it.
Don Struble, Roundtable Sports. Franz, you and Paolo dealt with the same unlikely injury last season. Then you came back and became two of the top 10 postseason scoring average leaders. What did that adversity of that moment teach you guys, and how did you two grow closer when dealing with those injuries?
Yeah, like you said, it was really weird. I think for me and Pia it was tough because we were both playing really well before the injury, and obviously our impact on the team. So I think there's always a balance of not bringing the team morale down when stuff like that happens. And I think what we learned, obviously the playoffs went the way they did, but how important it is to play as a unit the whole year, and kind of like what I just said. It's not just about two players, but making sure everyone's ability is maximized. So I think that should be the focus.
Franz, I want to go back to that Berlin game. What kind of atmosphere are you expecting? Like us in America, we expect it's going to be pretty electric. Are you expecting the same thing?
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. People are going to go crazy for the tickets. Like that just doesn't happen, you know what I mean? So everybody that can get their hand on a ticket, they'll pay whatever for it, I think. So I'm super excited. Obviously, I think it's going to be a great atmosphere, and like I said, I hope some young people are in there that that'll be the experience that kind of gets them started. Because like I said, you can watch videos on YouTube and stuff, but seeing that stuff up close I think goes a long way.
Franz, what do you think the difference is with this team, with and without Jalen?
Yeah, I think Jalen's one of our X factors. I think just the energy he plays with, the plays he makes without the basketball, and just the type of guy, the type of character he is. His energy is very, how do you say? I think it's spreads across the whole room when he walks in. So I think when Jalen's right, especially the plays that sometimes don't get recognized, I think you always need players like that, and add that to a player that can do stuff with the ball like he can. Like I said, I think he's one of our most important players.
How you doing today, Franz? What was your over here, Franz? What was your instant reaction to the Desmond Bane trade, and how do you envision getting to play with a three-point sniper like Bane going forward?
Yeah, like I just said, it's always bittersweet. I was super excited because I think his talent fits our roster extremely well. At the same time, I have a close relationship with the guys that we traded, so just want to say that as well. But super excited to play with him. Obviously saw a couple of the practices already, and excited. Like you said, I think he's a great shooter. Can make a lot of plays without the ball, and no, I think he'll fit some of that spot though, some on-ball creation I think that we need.
And with your incredible success in FIBA, Eurobasket, World Cup, is there any specific skills that you think translate to the NBA that you might have picked up playing with all that experience and different style of play, given that there is a few different rules and different styles of
I mean, obviously it's basketball. It is a lot different. I will say that. I think the biggest thing that I took away from it is, just the vibe that we have with that team is super special. And I think in moments of adversity, in tight games, maybe in some adversity moments in practice, I think those things go a long way when you trust the guy next to you. And I think we've got to do our best to create that same vibe here. I know it's a lot harder. It's a longer season. It's a different situation in the NBA, but I think for me that was our superpower in the summer.
As the expectations for this team kind of grow, you're obviously one of the leaders on this team. You're one of the key players on this team. How have you seen your leadership evolve, and how do you kind of want to evolve as a leader for this group as you navigate this season?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I talk about it every year. I think obviously that is part of my development, and I think I'm up for the challenge. I think to be a good leader for other people, I think you got to be know who you are and be okay with that too. So I think that's been the biggest process for me the last couple of years, which I think is normal in my life situation. And like I said, I think I'm up for the challenge. Super excited to learn how to do that in a better way and be more vocal about it too. I think usually I'm someone more quiet and kind of go about my business and try to be a leader that way. But I think even in the summer, maybe that's one thing that I learned too from the summer is how to do that a little bit more, be more vocal, and hold people accountable that way.
Talked about your three-point shot earlier and wanting to show that off to the fans. What was that work like this summer? How much did you put into it, and how was your confidence there from three?
Yeah, I think with shooting, I think some of it is mental, so some of that work doesn't necessarily happen on the court, and I think the other part of it, obviously getting a lot of reps in, just making sure the shot feels good and fluid, and I think that work kind of goes in phases, just like I said, first making sure it feels good and feels the right way and the same every time, and then just making sure you rep it out. And I think it was good to have Eurobasket as well, making sure I feel that same way in practice as I do in games.
Franz, recently the ESPN ranked the top 10 players in the NBA, and were you surprised that the first six players are from Europe? Is the world catching up to the NBA? Or is the platform that was open to you guys taking advantage and somehow surpassing the U.S. players?
I did not see the ranking, but not necessarily surprised. Obviously, I know some of the guys probably that are on the list, and I don't know if they're surpassing the NBA. I think the game is global. I think there's stuff that other countries are better at in basketball than the States. I will say that, and but I think the NBA is a huge part of that, you know what I mean? Let's not get it twisted. Everybody wants to play here, and that's the platform everybody's striving for. So I think that's the beauty of, the sport of our world, that, we get to share these things and connect throughout that. And I think basketball is no different. Thank you.
The big question, not us, how we're doing. How are you doing? How are you feeling and everything coming into media day after rehabbing all summer?
Yeah, I feel good. I mean, I'm excited to be back. Kind of first day of school vibes. Excited to see the group. Kind of different wind in here, Correct me if I'm wrong, but feels good to be part of this group and to compete for a championship.
Where are you in your recovery process? What have you been working on recently, and what are the next steps for you? People want to know.
Yeah, of course. I mean, obviously, I expected that question. I'm mentally, I'm more in the way of getting in shape now and not rehabbing. I obviously worked really hard. I committed to getting the thing right. Put really everything I had, invested a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of patience and mental capacity into this thing. So I really logged in on getting better, and picked up a lot of fun, cool new habits for me that I hope will extend my career and just help me grow too. I mean, you always think about like playing or not playing, but I see it as an opportunity to kind of like grow as a human too and learn a lot from it. And then when my body is ready, I know my body best, and then everything will be as it always was.
Mo, we're over here on your left. So with your injury and knowing that the expectations for the team are to play into May and June, does that maybe make you want to make sure you're 101% correct before you make that approach back, or do you just want to, get it back as soon as possible?
No, I mean, that's the wrong approach. Obviously, I think for me, generally, yes, basketball is one thing and your career, and it's success and all that, but you want to get this right. You only have one body, you only have one career. I'm not rehabbing every day for hours to just get it almost right. I want to get it all the way right. This is my baby. I've taken care of this for 9 months now, and I'm going to get this all the way right, believe me. So regardless of the circumstances, when I play, you know that I'm ready.
We know that this coaching staff likes to keep players involved when they're out injured, whether it's like sitting in on coaches' meetings, like kind of being on the bench. How valuable was that lesson, or what did you kind of learn from going through that experience as part of kind of the rehab process?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was kind of a decision I can either just pass the time and kind of like get through it somehow, but to me it was also like, how can I make the best out of this? And the time was almost too valuable to just say the season is lost. So trying to understand the game from a different perspective, also at the same time not making it about yourself. I don't want people to see, there's the hurt guy there that's doing the rehab. So that's a difficult balance, and I think especially the players and the coaches made it very easy for me to not feel like an asterisk or like the hurt player, and kind of allowed me to proceed on my schedule, but at the same time be part of the group to an appropriate amount.
Mo, one of the big news this summer is the trip to Berlin for the team coming up in January.
Yeah.
First off, I assume you're really excited for that, and I know you can't give a date when you'll be back, but you'll be back for that game, right? You wouldn't miss that for the world, even if you're on crutches or whatever, right? You'll be back for that.
Well, I mean, you kind of took the answer from me. Of course, there's a motivation there, but again, if I'm not ready, I'm not ready. But to me, that is probably one of the coolest things I'll ever experience in my career. I think I'll speak for Franz and myself here together, because I know he doesn't ever express it the way I do, but that's very meaningful for us, our family, our friends, people that we weren't able to take on this journey here in America. So get a chance to see us play, family members that have never seen us play, that means a lot. We grew up in that gym, we grew up with that club, so to have this opportunity, to have the league and the Magic kind of figure this out is very meaningful to us.
When you do return, what are your expectations for yourself and your contributions to this team?
Just like always, there's nothing changed. I don't expect anything to change other than play winning basketball. For me, I want to make this as seamless as possible, so none of you guys have to ask me about my knee ever again. So that's kind of the goal.
Hi, Mo.
Hi.
What's been the most rewarding part about sharing this NBA journey with your brother?
Wow, that's a good question. I think it allows us, obviously, to see him grow and see the type of player and person he's becoming every day and how much he works, but also it allows us to share with our friends and family a lot easier, because if we didn't play together, we would play in different markets, and then Christmases look a lot different, and whatever you celebrate. And so it's really cool that we can share this as a group every year, and we cherish that because it's not a normal experience for an NBA player, for sure.
To that end, I'm sure you obviously wanted to be a part of the games yourself this summer with Germany, but what was your reaction to seeing Germany win? And we saw you some on the broadcast over there, just to kind of be able to share that moment a little bit.
Yeah, it was awesome. first of all, having the opportunity to be kind of part of it, even though I was very committed to the rehab and not being there, was really cool for me. At the same time, that group is just so special. Such amazing people. That the winning part is one thing, but it's more about hugging each other afterwards, being together afterwards, enjoying that moment together, because it is really a special group. And I mean, when you look to Germany, like the clubs, there's people streaming to the clubs, wanting to play basketball. So many kids want to play now because of this tournament, because of the impact these guys had this summer, or over the last couple of years we had. And that's, I think, something we can't even grasp right now. We'll figure that out after our career. But this sequence of success here is very meaningful to German basketball, and we are very privileged to be part of it.
Mike Brodsky, Florida National News. Related to the Berlin game, are there any particular tourist attractions or restaurants that you and Franz are planning to show to the other players? Where are you going to take them on the first couple of days you're over there?
Well, I'll show them a lot. It won't have to do anything with sights, though, I'll tell you that much. But yeah, I mean, obviously Berlin, an incredible city from a historical perspective, somewhat overwhelming. So I hope we have a couple days to kind of check it out. I get to know it every summer new for me, so I'm excited to kind of bring our American world together with the German world and kind of embrace that. And obviously we have a lot of friends and family come, even from the States. Yeah, that's going to be a really cool week.
Mo, when you got hurt, you knew it was, you could tell, you knew it was serious right away. You knew you were in for a big rehab stint. How did the rehab go compared to what you thought at that time?
It was a lot more intense than I thought. I thought I could kind of like turn off the mental aspect of it and just kind of like go through it and be prepared and all that. But I learned pretty quickly that wasn't the case. So the first couple months, especially as the season was still going on, were very difficult for me emotionally. And if I could have done that over again, I would have done that a little differently. But then coming out of that phase, it's also very meaningful because I've learned a lot about myself and was able to like adapt new habits, new wellness for me that I hope not only will extend my career, but also just improve my life all in all. So I know we're here for basketball. We want everybody to succeed, but sometimes it changes your perspective. And I also believe that there's a reason for these things to happen. So I took that very serious and not only tried to take the best out of it, but also grow from it a little bit and embrace it as for what it is.
Mo, we know that the injury recovery, that will happen in its own time. How much thought have you put into what this team can look like when you're back and the team is fully whole?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty well shown how good we can be. I think generally, I hope I can play a huge role in that. Obviously, you always hope that, but I haven't really thought about it much. I'll tell you that from a confidence level, that hasn't dropped just because I hurt my knee for one season. So for me, it's an expectation to be pretty seamless, and I've been working on that for months to kind of have that same mentality that I had before the season, and don't lack physicality, emotion, explosiveness, and all that stuff that starts up here. So I've been working on that because I don't want that to be a huge bridge time for me. I want to be the player that I am, and so you guys basically forget that I ever had this injury. That's kind of like my mentality going into this season. So yeah, we'll see what it looks like, but I don't expect to be a different player.
Mo, before you got hurt, over here.
My bad.
You're good. Before you got hurt, you posted a career-high scoring average. How encouraged are you by your growth on the offensive end, and how do you hope to build on that going into next season?
Sorry, say that again.
I just said that before you got hurt, you posted a career-high scoring average. How do you hope to build on that, and how encouraged are you by your offensive growth?
Well, encouraged. I mean, it's not like I don't work on it, so I almost expect it to translate eventually. I put a lot of work in it, so I'm not surprised by any means. And I don't mean to be cocky about it. It's just as a certain peace with my role and what I can do and my skill level, and I put a lot of time in it. And invest a lot in it. So there isn't really it's the same as always. I'm pretty relaxed going into it, and it will all happen. And once we play again, we play like we always have. Have a good one, guys.